Hello and welcome, esports fans. We are here live with day number 2, Monkey Bubble's Contenders Trials for the EU region. I'm FBI Tugboat. Joined here with me today is Mana Class, as always. Mana Class, how are we doing today?
I think we're doing great today. I think there's a lot of good Overwatch again to be played, which is always what we're looking forward to. And like you said, day 2, so we can already actually look at what's been happening to the standings if you want to. There's a new team on this stream to be introduced. They, of course, played yesterday as well. So yeah, Samsung versus Vox. That's going to be the first one. Samsung Morning Stars versus Vox Nihili. Yeah, it's been a rough one for Samsung yesterday. They, of course, lost 2-0 to Young and Beautiful, which was a fairly convincing victory there. And Vox Nihili actually managed to come out on top also with a 2-0. And they actually managed to beat HSL Esports. And that might have been upset to some, but the community did expect it here, the Trials community, as we call them. So, yeah, I mean, Vox is just trying to keep that top spot up. They're now second in the group. Well, first shared with Young and Beautiful. And Samsung, of course, trying to get up there, trying to also get the win on the board. Because top 2 teams of a group going through to Contenders, that is not a lot. I mean, you do only have 5 teams in your group, but you still need to keep winning. And if you keep losing, you'll never be on top. That's just how it works. That's how math turns out, right? If you only have zeros, you're not going to go up.
Even I can do that math as a play-by-play Mana Class. Now, talking about this competition a little bit, you touched on this. This is the top 2 from each group. We have 11 teams, 5 teams in the Group A, 6 teams in the Group B, in a round-robin format, meaning, of course, they're going to play everybody in their respective group and then how they perform individually. This is first to 2 as well, so not necessarily a best of 3. We can only see 2 maps. Now, first one being Helios, that's the control, obviously. No ties capable on those. Can theoretically go on forever. But Blizzard World afterwards, the tie is much more possible. We will see Route 66 after that if we do see the 1-1 tie going through there. Or again, the 1-0 tie because the 1-0 scoreline, because a tie is possible on Blizzard World, even though, decently unlikely. Running through these so far, Dreadlords is the only team out of all 11 teams that have not played yet. But do you want to run through some of the standings here and kind of what to expect from each of these individual teams and what they need to go forth and come out on top in their respective brackets?
Of course, I want to. So again, we're starting with Group A today. It's going to be Vox Nihili versus Samsung Morning Stars. On the other stream, we'll actually be seeing which ones were it again. I think Avoided. No, they're playing on our stream. They're actually doing another game. I keep forgetting which one it is.
That's Young and Beautiful versus
Dreadlords.
That's
their first game.
Playing their first game.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Of course, yeah. And then on stream 1 today, we'll afterwards have Avoided versus Roar, whereas on stream 2, they'll be going to Vastav Gaming versus Angry Titans. So that's the 4 ones we're going to do today on both streams. Don't forget to go to the game you prefer, or just have them both open. People can multitask.
I know
I can. Yeah, that's exactly. There's more content, more tier 2. Keep supporting that. And talking about supporting tier 2, there's actually more. I know, right? There's actually more than just us that are supporting tier 2, because Monkey Bubble Productions has been able to strike up a beautiful partnership, a beautiful cooperation with the LA Gladiators, which means that you, as a viewer, as a content creator, can create any form of content. It can be an image, a video, some kind of meme that has to do something with what we're doing on production here. And if you tweet that with hashtag GLAD4T2, so 4 is the word and T2 is in the T and then a 2, you'll be able to win either a jersey and maybe just some homestand sprays. Well, we have 1 jersey, 2 sprays to give away. So yeah, be sure to participate in that. We'll do it after Friday final broadcast, so you have a few days to get that ready. But for now, I feel like it's time to get into some games. Of course, Morning Stars, Vox Nihili. We saw Morning Stars play yesterday. Vox Nihili has been a roster that's been together for a little bit longer, made some roster shuffles during the off season, but they're still a very much selective core that have been together for a while. So I'm expecting them to be ready for this, and Morning Stars to have quite the task on their hands to turn their results from yesterday around.
Yes, sir. Yes, so the Samsung Morning Stars will be playing from behind technically in this after dropping 0-2 to the Avoided team. Avoided we'll see a little bit later on here. I'm interested for this one. It's been a while since me personally have done anything with Vox Nihili, but let's go ahead and run through this roster, through this lineup, and what you guys can expect Jaru, yeah, there's Jaru, NKZ, Ido, Pingu, Kurama, and Froki. We might see, and we might see Nat in for Kurama on this one. Or yeah, because Froki's in here as well. Okay, excuse me.
Exactly. It might be a choice that they make because of certain the map type suiting them a little bit better, something else going on there. But Vox Nihili has always been the team that makes intelligent choices with their roster, so I don't expect them to do this just by accident. And like you said, the other side, we have the same team as yesterday. It's going to be Kuki, WeQ, QQ Bao, Shikari, Adnar, and Qbest. So a lot of Qs in that one. And starting on Ilios Lighthouse here, which is always, I feel like Lighthouse is always a bit of that outlier where it's very fun to see. It's a good map, but it does have both of that dive potential because it has some open space, but also that enclosed area, and then the environmentals that well also provides. So it's that in between map between the ruins and between ruins and well. We're going to be seeing this dive coming out from something Morningstars. Yesterday we touched upon that, saying that was probably something they could run. Oh, sorry, from Vox Nihili. And now we see some Morningstars doing the same thing as they did yesterday, but not playing a mirror, so that might play in their favor.
They're actually taking the time here, trying to get around behind, trying to get that main tank. Actually gets the main support, so Qbest going to be actually was not able to finish the hack, excuse me. Throughout the thick of things here, QQ Bao did fall, but he'll be back. Nasty purple there from Nat. Already 50 plus on the way to ultimate after a very nasty anti-healing grenade. Hit not one, but 3 of these. Shikari falling as well. Jaru looking to get in the thick of things. The immortality field does fall. Jaru already with a primal, and I think this one's going the way of Vox Nihili.
Yeah, Vox looking very good, especially the DPS just being able to dodge and dash around. You saw it. Ido just getting that hack off. Kurama also in the backline getting that pick off onto QQ Bao. So it's very hard for Samsung to fight that when they don't go to the point early. Samsung really needs to find a way to get to the objective and fight there, because then they get control the space where the fight's taking place rather than being forced into that pillar room.
Kind of in the interim time here between fights, that's QQ Bao falling to Kurama, already with the sticky bomb here soon. Love to see it. It's not frequent that you'll see, an Ashe fall in one clip. We're going to get more done. Tracer Bomb, obviously one of the fastest growing, or shortest timed ultimates, we'll say, right in the thick of things, and that's one against Shikari after the switch on over to the Torb. Froki does fall for the side of Vox Nihili, as does Jaru. Jaru not able to live through his aggression this time. The tank composition is remaining for Vox Nihili, doing a good job of maintaining pressure on the DPS of Morningstars. Edu does have that EMP, looking to get inside of this. Actually got a little bit of healing from the rest of the team, but this is now Morningstars bunkering down on point. The hack comes through, and that is all that Vox Nihili needed.
Yeah, they were finally able to get to that objective with the tank line. It's exactly what Samsung had sort of been waiting for all around. But unfortunately, if that EMP is ready, you can have as much tank and sustain as you want. You will just get booted out. Your ability's gone, your sustain gone, and a beautiful dive response as well. They're not playing the Genji, which some might be a little bit confused by. But the Tracer and the Sombra have a little bit easier of a time escaping. And the disable from that Sombra can be so impactful, more so than a Dragon Blade even.
Yeah, much less mobile team coming out from the Morningstars, and that's not provided them any value quite yet. 98-99 now as Vox Nihili has reached their max. The mortality field, from Qbest, not going to live very long. Jaru getting it done here. Nicely done, getting the last little bit of that Primal Rage with hits against QQ Bao and Shikari. The healing core the DPS core, for the side of the Morningstars, absolutely deleted after the necessary switches coming out. QQ Bao now switching on over that Tracer as this is continuing on point. Vox Nihili just going to town against members of the Morningstar. Boops and more from Froki. Jaru really cleaned up that team fight well.
Yeah, and I think Morningstars just weren't ready for this sheer dive aggression. It's so nice how they're playing around it. You see Kurama also constantly scouting for, is the immortality field out already? It's consistently putting pressure onto Cubest in order to force that out, and only then uses a pulse bomb. Only then they really start making the move, and that's all they need to do. As long as that immortality field is not there, they have so much dive potential, because then the kills will actually be finished, the damage will actually stick, and you won't have Cubest just staying in your face like, haha, you thought you could dive me?
Yeah.
Well, guess not. So it's the nope button deleter. That's what the strat's really about. But Jaru was doing a great job on that Winston. All those primal rages, got the very, very quick one on the first go, almost died in just exact right timing, and then the second one on that objective, just booping him off the map, going all the way around, and his jump control has just been amazing to watch.
It really has. Getting damage coming and going, mana class. It's awesome to see. Shikari switching back over to that Torb, just using that different hero to get the team out a little bit faster. Now, QQ on the McCree, I really like this, right? He's tired of getting Kurama bullied.
Yeah, I think that's the case, but you see Jaro and NKZ now going straight over to that Reinhardt Sigma double barrier. I do on the Widowmaker already gets that first kill. Where's ahead, easy to find, and there goes Sigma. No more tanks for Samsung. That would probably be meaning no point cap for Samsung in this first fight.
Wow, yeah, so Kurama really getting a lot of the attention on that one, but that's going to be Ito that cleans up a lot of these kills. Cubest, again, not able to live through this dive. Now, those invincibility fields a little while ago were providing value, but different time, different map, different ball game entirely here, man, class.
Yeah, and I do, of course, used to be called I Do This, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, that's how that works sometimes. You just change that name because you want to get a fresh image. And they have been popping off in the contender scene before. Fox, of course, was in contenders in a few weeks in the last season. So they have that over Samsung, and Samsung's really got more to prove here with this new roster. And so far, they're not really showing it.
Seems like the adaptability from Vox Nihili really showing the big difference in this matchup so far. Here comes the Signal ultimate, comes up, comes back down, gets a lot of damage on. That's Jaru not able to live through it. Broky, that's the Brig, dying in the thick of things here as well. Kurama almost getting back to this healing, but this is going to be Morningstars winning this team fight.
They got a team win, a team fight win. They definitely got the point flip here, and this time they get a bit more percentage than they did last time, because that was just a mid-fight swap. There will be some ultimates online for them as well. They look to be in advantage, so if they can rotate these correctly and get the value, they will definitely be able to hold on for at least one, probably even two fights, and maybe
Yeah, this is Morningstar. They got 19% on the last control map. They're doing better markedly as is no matter what. Shikari with the ultimate out, and Kurama absolutely punishes him for his aggression. Rally now from Adnar, going to be doing good things as WeQ, also using that one, trying to get some sort of advantage from it, but that's QQ out with a longer range McCree shots. That damage follow-up just not providing the same value that he really wanted. Does have that high noon, but the double shield composition from the side of Vox Nihili is really going to negate down any potential that one's going to have. As just this is Vox Nihili with a longer team fight. I feel like whenever these elongated mana class, that's Vox Nihili coming out on top.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they were able to get the immortality field out before the Gravitic Flux actually got the slam down. But they just weren't able to be following up on that damage, on that half-health damage that they got from the Gravitic Flux, because they were too far away. The positioning of that Flux was a little bit off, and maybe they could do better in the future, but they're shattered now.
Jaru actually almost gets cornered out, but does land that shatter, and that provides a solid bit of damage, leads to the Kurama sticky bomb. A little bit on there as I do providing value from the backlines, now coming through with a flank, and this is going to be Morningstars is not going to be too happy about this one. Actually, net in the thick of things here as Bob comes out. That's a Cookie Arista that's not going to live through very much at this close range.
No, it looks like this 90% and counting one is going to go into the favor of Vox Nihili. Morningstars, of course, got to try and get back in here, but I don't think they can actually make it. No mobility, no more life. And that will be the map win for Vox here, of course. Beautifully done by them. There was some glimmers of hope there from Samsung, though. Like yesterday, we saw them play against Young and Beautiful. They could completely shut out of both of those points. But this time around, yeah, very well done. I think their adaptability and composition definitely showed. They were ready for what Vox was going to throw out. Execution still wasn't quite there. They didn't quite get the value that they maybe would have liked. But they got more value, and it looks like they're definitely adapting and thinking about what should we do, what can we do, is there anything we need to change, and then they're also changing that up. So next map is going to be Blizzard World. We saw how they did on that yesterday in terms of Morning Stars, and all I can say is I think their defense is not where they whether we'll really need anything. I think their defense is good for Morning Stars. You know, they have to tighten it up a little bit, get a little bit more value out of certain things. It was really their attack that was, I wouldn't say necessarily lacking, but that took a while to get going last time. If they can get more initial value, that could be a very, very good thing for them.
You know, a different story altogether might be told, like you were saying. This is the point we as casters always talk about, the warm-up factor, right? We have no idea what these teams were doing beforehand. These are teams guaranteed that have seen each other play before, and have played each other before. They know each other, things like this. But it's a different day, you know. Literally any given day, you know, the pop-off potential in Overwatch is always there, is what I'm trying to say. Now, that might be negated a little bit by which team, which hero you're playing, which role you're playing, and stuff like this. But I mean, I think Froki really pointed that out. Yeah, like, yes, Brig is extremely brawly, but getting that player that play of the game there towards the end just says everything to me. And then on the previous Ilios map, like I was saying, Froki and Jaru booped off, I think, 3 or 4 people on that last team fight. If you do that, you know, again, even I can do this math. 0 is better than the 500 wherever some of these tanks have, right? Just simply booping off a Sigma instead of doing all that 400 damage is just simply better. You know, especially once he has the shield capabilities and the ability of eating all the damage in the world. Vox Nihili had a lot of versatility as well. I really liked what Jaru did there from the Winston over to the Reinhardt from map 1 to 2. That versatility is just absolutely abundant and is going to have a positive effect on Vox Nihili's games, but it just seems almost like so subtle, right? Like it wasn't like the hugest change by any means, but it had all the effect in the world.
Yeah, and we do now see a substitute come in for Vox Nihili. They're going to actually play with Pingu, which is not unexpected. Kurama did very well on the Tracer, but I do feel like they're potentially going for more of a projectile DPS when you go to Blizzard World. So might be going for something like an Echo or a Genji. And yeah, I mean, if you get Pingu in for that, that's all you really need. Maybe Ido will play it instead. Pingu will be going more on the hit scan like an Ashe or something. But that do probably makes sense. They 100% practice with this. They know why you're rotating in this different DPS.
Yeah, Blizzard World, just an entirely different experience all the way through. The hybrid, the hybrid, yes, the game mode is different, but also the map geographically is just far and away night and day different from Ilios World. I think we can say that.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, like that's why I'm saying, you know, it's very logical that they're getting in this different player. Yep. But yeah, looking at the compositions right now, of course we will see them soon. I'm thinking so. Vox is going to attack again. They're not starting on the defense like some teams choose to do. I don't know if that actually in the rules even if they're allowed to. But we will see this defense come out, and it's sort of the same thing we're expecting from them, right? This is what Samsung did yesterday. They play Kukubao on the Yash, they play Shikari on the Genji, then Adgar and Q-Best on the Brigitte and the Baptiste with the sort of standard double barrier that we see nowadays. And the only thing we really have to wonder about is, are they going to do anything different on the side of Vox? Are they going to go with something creative? And they're probably just using this sim to get out of the room. They're going into this soda room. So first getting through the lost and found, then into the mega health pack room on the top up there. And then the fight's going to break out between these teams. Who are in a mirror.
Yep. Like, look in the mirror, exactly. QQ Bao and Shikari, I really see that popping off here. Now there's the classic pull attempt. Jaru just positioning around with the rest of his team. It makes sense not to go head-to-head against Morning Stars right now with this lineup. Really, I think there's going to be decided by how well Q-Best stays back. I think he was getting really aggressive earlier, and I don't think a lot of his damage there was like ending out kills or anything else like this. But 40 seconds in, the full rotation now for Vox Nihili. You're looking to get this going. On board with Nat here. Go ahead.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Q-Best following there early again. Q-Best, I can dig it, the aggression, but just at a certain point you have to realize when it's not going to work. You have 2 different shields, but they just can't dedicate one to you at all times, right?
I think a lot of that didn't even have to do with Q-Best being aggressive. I think it had to do with the rest of Samsung being so incredibly passive because they kept on backing off. they never really took a fight. They were just saying, Vox, come forward, come forward, come forward, and eventually we'll fight you. But that eventually never came. Cubest was already down before they could really make a move. And while they have some ultimates, they might not have enough to really stave this next defense off. This high ground push once again coming out, Tugboat.
Yeah, we saw a lot of value from both teams yesterday when we saw the Blizzard World here. There's going to be a stomping ground for right now. Here comes the Flux. And that's a 2-piece, taking out Nat and Pingu. Jaro following suit on this as Morningstar has handedly won this team fight.
Yeah, nicely done from Morningstars. We know that they can be good on that high ground defense, and they had that Gravitic Flux up. WeQ definitely doing a great job building that up. And now we're in a fairly even ultimate situation. There's going to be plenty online for the defense fairly soon. Already have the Blade up ahead of Pingu. But yeah, Vox is also coming in with quite a few tools. Only the Implication Matrix missing. This could be a rough fight, but all they really need to do is make sure that the Immortality Field gets the value that it needs on either team. That's really the win condition. Get the Immortality Field out and then do the combo.
Here comes the rally. Froki's ready for this one. Coming across the top as well. Both shields, both sides getting deleted very, very quickly. Cookie and company rotating from the top as we do have one dedicated to this payload. Pushing it out around, and now it's actually a solid little bit as now we have the Blade. Shikari assisted all day long by that invincibility field and gets the heals at the end. This is Morningstar is winning up top again.
Yeah, the Blade didn't even get any value. It just kind of missed and then didn't have another dash to get to the next target. They win the fight out of that, but I do think that Blade might not have been necessary. That being said, though, if you look at the ultimate situation, they're still quite there. They have both tank ultimates. They will be fighting against the Blade and the Bob, but generally speaking, once again, if you use that Amplification Matrix and that Immortality Field correctly, Fox will not really get the value out of those. So it's really on the shoulders of Cubest a lot of these times, and his tanks and DPS are properly built for them.
A lot of ultimate abilities online for Morningstars coming into this one. They've done a great job of kind of maintaining. Yes, Shikaru didn't take no 4-piece Blade, but all the attention in the world was on him, and then once he got the invincibility field out, you know, was able to stabilize, really. So, up top, moving across, here comes that Implication Matrix. Bob sitting right in the middle of it, basically bisected by this Implication Matrix. Cubest trying to get healing out and does a great job so far, but forced down as Adnar falls to the Pingu Blade. WeQ gets another 2-piece. One on Bob, that's going to be okay because he took out Jaro immediately afterwards. A dedicated member on point here. That's Nat over kind of sneaky push. And actually might be okay. I was gonna say if he got away from the entirety of the Morningstars, be thanking somebody for that one.
Yeah, you'd be looking weird at that screen. Like, wait, how did Nat get away there?
Yeah,
but
like...
this card has been slowly pushing. Like you said it before, Nat pushed that way a little bit. That card has been, even though the fight's sort of been happening on the high ground, the fight is, or the objective is always in a place where it can just be pushed into last. Mm-hmm. So one fight win is really all they needed to get a decisive one on Vox side.
Oh, I get it. It's because Nats keeps going down there because he can continue to jump up and get the healing off that's necessary. But my, oh my, QQ Bao getting all the damage in the world. A lot against Sado. Now that's going to be a Vox Nihili team that is just, yeah, that is the only thing they can do is just come back for right now. They dedicated both shields and an ice block there to make sure they didn't get any damage against them. Morningstars has been doing fantastic up top here, Mana Class.
Morningstars, a great defense. Like I said, we saw this from them yesterday. We know they can do it, and they're doing it again. These WeQ Gravitic Fluxes have been great, but this one not getting the value, Tugboat.
Yeah, the group healing did come out from Nat and Frohi. They were ready for this one. They did invest the Immortality Field, but actually was not necessary because they just kind of dipped inside afterwards. WeQ falling. He came up trying to finish off a couple of his kills. I'm not sure if he thought there was more damage on there or not, but getting left out in lurch and taken down. 3 ultimates online for the side of Morningstars, but that's both supports out first. Hikaru now with the Blade, getting a couple against the Mei. Dashed in, getting slices, but actually only landed ones against the Mei. Again, another Shikari Blade that did not get the required damage. Jaro gonna get something done here as Adu takes out his counterpart. Nice headshot against QQ Bao. Looks like this is Vox Nihili maybe breaking through here as Cubest falls as well. Adnar, the only other support, getting very low, and Pingu makes mincemeat out of the healing core of the Morningstars.
Yeah, and both that Shikari Blade as well as the Gravitic Flux from WeQ before were sort of uncharacteristically from Morningstar. Because before that, they'd been very good at just getting out the Immortality Field from Nat early, or just at some point, and then getting the kill. They will get this late kill to Cubest as well. Cubest in a bit of trouble. Beautiful Hall Accretion combo, and just complete domination there. Not getting it out there as Baptiste. But yeah, looking at the ultimates as well, Vox is going to potentially have a good amount of momentum here going into this, but they do lose Froakie early. Nice flank from QQ Bao, and that will probably slow them down a tiny bit.
Yeah, a little back and forth here, right? Like kind of the early poke damage resulting in big picks, but QQ Bao, both himself and the Bob deleted. Defense at a mild disadvantage right now as Bob comes out, making this a 7v5 for the time being. Pingu does have that Blizzard and actually doesn't even need to use it, just gets the shots and assistance from Jaru. Nice block off. Oh man, the fancy footwork from Cubes gets on the other side of this, and we're looking at a Morningstar's team that is basically getting spawned. Wow, okay, so still pushing all the way around is Vox Nihili.
They're ready with the ultimates though. They can come out with a Gravitic Flux, the Blade, the Supercharger, a lot of tools, but Vox has some left as well. The Blizzard gets eaten! Beautifully done by WeQ.
Wow, perfect positioning from this guy. He's been getting these E's, he's been getting these ultimates off all day long. The Gravitic Flux coming out, a couple falling in the thick of things. This Orisa not going to be able to live through. Cookie and WeQ, the tank core for the side of the Morningstar is deleted, and this is Vox Nihili just strolling on in. 38 seconds to go.
Yeah, they do eventually make it, and I gotta say though, if there's one bright spot on the side of Morningstars, it has to be WeQ. Got a lot of value out of the Gravitic Fluxes early, eats that Blizzard in the end. I think there's not much more you can do as Sigma at that point, and it's really a few players that we're looking at on the side of Samsung Morningstars that are not really finding the value that they need to. QQ Bao got that nice pick off on the side, but then chose to go very aggressively before the rest of their team got there, threw out the Bob and died. Shikari not really getting anything much with the Blade, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the way they're playing the Genji. They're playing it more like a solo DPS rather than within the team, and we saw that work yesterday, but you do need to have your team either be a distraction at the same time or set you up, give you that space to get the Blade with. And that never truly seemed to happen with the Shikari Blade. So if Samsung can recognize these conditions, recognize that we either need to get the Immortality field first or create a situation in which Shikari isn't being able to be solely focused, but they also got to look at us, that might work a lot better for them in this offense. And of course, 38 seconds isn't a lot to have left on Blizzard World, but you don't always complete the map. So there's definitely some pressure on the Samsung to get this going, but a lot more interesting of a map than we saw yesterday from them.
Yeah, very true. Hey, just as long as you don't take it in overtime, right? That's really the name of the game on that one. Interesting stuff. So Froakie now over on the Mercy. We saw Team Avoided just absolutely go to town with this, but that, of course, was in combination with the Pharah, the Pharmacy combination, the classic up top aerial advantage. But this one, I guess Froakie really just spending a lot of damage boost onto Idu. Onto Idu. That makes sense, actually. Okay, so getting this one out already.
One-shot squishies.
Exactly. It just took me a second to put the pieces together there. It takes me a second sometimes. Nice pull coming out. We have seen Vox, Nihili, and Morningstars get really good pull combinations so far, but really this is forcing... Yeah, and after that, a lot of damage going on Vox, Nihili, and they're forced to rotate all the way around. Up close on the thick of things. Nice ice block to cut in half the team of Morningstars. Really just a bunch of back and forth right now. Both shields getting bleed both sides. Got another one out from Jaru. Both teams investing that invincibility field for now. Nat and Cubes doing their most, and now here comes one invincibility... amplification matrix, Cubes wisely waiting to use theirs for later.
Yeah, Cubes obviously not going to invest that one in a sort of lost fight. They do manage to res Jaru here, meaning that they will have a 6 on the Vox defense. Otherwise, there might have been a quick offense coming out here for Samsung to, be in a numbers advantage. They'll go through the same approach. They might send someone up through mid in order to get some snipes out, which will probably be QQ Bao. But both DPS seem to actually be ready, and even the Sigma. So this might just be a split offense with only the Orisa going through the Mega Pack with Brig.
Yeah, Cookie. Oh my goodness. I was going to say, only 45% on ultimate and gets a lot of damage from him really, really fast. Yeah, Cubes Adnar really responding just in the nick of time to keep him alive. BQ does have that, but that's going to be the Ido Bob first. Ido falling, actually, and trying to get out and get something going. Shikari dashes through a couple of these, gets the damage, but no immortality field. Cubes is going to put that one on cooldown. The entirety of the Morningstar is now rolling around left side of point. Adnar getting it going, and here comes the Blade. Shikari looking for a chance to redeem himself. Comes up, comes down, gets caught in the thick of that Gravitic Flux, and no advantage from the Blade again.
Yeah, they're taking up, getting that first stick already. Just have to deal with this Baptiste Ashe Mercy combination. Supports are down. It's just the Ashe in the backline. Tries to go for QQ Bao. The QQ Bao can be healed up. No, they have no supports left. Ido actually gets another one there. They do lose the point here. But it was scrappy. They still kept losing members, and Shikari Blade didn't get anything, but this time it wasn't really their fault. The timing was really good, but it was just NKZ threw out the Gravitic Flux, make sure that that Blade just floats in the air for a while, then it's kind of over. So there will be more attempts. I think 3 minutes 45, if you don't get another Blade off like that, I don't even know what Shikari would be doing. I think even naturally ticks up to 100 by that point. So we will see another attempt, but it looks like Morning Stars are in a good rate right now. And if they can get past this, they don't even try to challenge the high ground. They're just going to go through low ground and force them off.
I like this. I like this. I mean, yes, QQ Bao can be nasty. Yes, Ido can be nasty on these Ashes. If there's only so much that this defending Nihili team can do from up top, Morningstar is just opting not to go for that one at all. Still some longer range damage paying off. Cookie falling actually for the defending side, so Morningstar is at a little bit of a disadvantage. Now I'm losing Adnar, Shikari, WeQ, and this is a wholehearted Vox Nihili W.
Yeah, and Shikari actually tried to do the thing where he makes Vox fight on almost two fronts, where they did the damage, so the damage in Ido and even the supports in Froki and Nat really had to look at them. They almost got the kill on Ido, couldn't quite finish that off. I think they had to reload or something, or even deflect. But that is a much better way of playing that Genji, where you do make the enemy team think about two things at once, both the Genji and the rest of the team, maybe even the Ashe, but Ido gets the one shot because of that Mercy damage boost. Beautifully done. Oh no, the Mercy's not even there anymore. This is a good combo.
There was some other longer range damage. Yeah, Shikari just kind of got clipped on that one at the very end, then a headshot finished him off, I believe. Am I seeing this wrong? Yeah, so Shikari... No. Okay, no, yeah, my bad. I got teams mixed up here for a second. Shikari fully makes sense for the Morning Stars to come on back for a second. I thought that was an offensive team that was not pushing an advantage. Morning Stars are 5 on board.
Yeah, they do. Well, they boop off Bob from the high ground. Gravitic Flux is out. NKZ has to look away. Can't bear the tragedy that's unfolding in front of their eyes. Both immortality fields now gone. The kills are going into the favor of Samsung. Morning Stars tugboat.
Yeah, that's 3 now, 4. No oral ultimates needed to be invested on this one. Morning Stars me pushing on along, and this is just so important because we've seen Vox Nihili just doing nasty things from up top, right?
We really have. They've got that high ground control now. They're kind of trying to get them to get forced out of spawn, which of course, I mean, they have to. They want to really contest this, and they have the space to do so. This is a great shooting gallery that they've got for themselves.
Need to keep 3 on. 2 meters away. Gets there with .77. The Froki Brig doing exactly what they need to, getting very brawly on point. Shikari getting the damage from the back. I do the first 2 fall on this one. The Blizzard coming out of the end, and Shikari just shut down. He's got good positioning, but see what goes on with the rest. Minute 10 left on this, so this gets, oh my god, Brawly. NKZ falling. Nihili at a slight disadvantage for the time being. Jaro as well. Cookie down, so Morningstar losing one of their own. It looks like we've seen a stabilization. This is Nat in the back just pouring in damage. The invincibility field coming out just a second too late, and that is Morningstars all over their second point.
Yeah, and I feel like Morning Stars has sort of changed their tactic, where before they maybe wanted to go for some more squishy members, they've really started to focus Jaro and NKZ down a lot. They're trying to win this tank line. And if you have WeQ and Cookie on your front line, I definitely understand why you think you can win out the tank consistently, because they've been popping.
They really, really have. WeQ especially. WeQ, speaking of getting super low, punished for his aggression. That is the Caster's Curse. Just clip that, put it on YouTube. People can look that up for the Caster's Curse for all of time. Minute 45 now as Cubest's invested invincibility field gets melted instantly. And this is just Morningstar's regroup and try and push this one at 6. Only 1 ultimate on board. QQ is not far away. But a little bit of a different story over for Vox Nihili. Now trying to get around this quintessential corner here. The pull comes out. Shikari forced to come back a little bit. There's the Gravitic Flux. Solid amount of damage. Bob invested as well as Eidos takes not 1 but 2 of an entirely passionate Vox Nihili win. Nicely done. That's the most value I've seen from a Bob in a while.
Yeah, you keep seeing them do that, both QQ Bao and Ido, really trying to get some sort of flank off, some sort of off angle off to throw the Bob into. Because if you put the Bob next to your team, it feels like a 7th member. But if you put him next to the other team instead of, the same angle that you were at, then they have to invest different resources into going against the Bob and going against your team. So nicely done. And with 50 seconds on the clock, this is really starting to become a little bit of a time race for Samsung here.
Yes, sir. Like Maniclass was saying, that two-sided war is always going to be an advantageous one. Lots of damage against Morningstar after this NKZ Gravitic Flux lands. Adnar falling from the Gravitic Flux damage, and then the Dynamite damage. Jaru falling though, so a little bit of a momentum switch as Nat is not able to get that down from up top. Bao takes advantage of that one all day long. Has come out swinging as multiple members of Vox Nihili. Froki taking one, but that's going to be all she wrote for the side of Vox Nihili. Morningstar is now all over this one as we see 15 seconds. This is their last real push.
They're still getting spawn camped here. They do manage to get pinged, but Cookie's very low. The healing needs to come in, and it doesn't. Ido gets that kill. There will be a little bit more push coming out of Samsung, but they're going to in overtime. This is where this all counts, and they have the ultimates to work with. If they play safe enough, they can just get these ultimates out, win one, maybe 1.5 fights, and just get that payload to the end, and then they'll get another chance of attack as well.
There's the Gravitic Flux. Roki might fall. Oh, perfectly timed invincibility field. Roki does fall because that invincibility field is not there to keep him alive. Shikari trying to get in the back, but all the attention on all the damage in the world comes against this guy. Bob providing value on point. That's Ido's there, just absolutely eating up Adnar. Yet all damage against him, and Ido's is no more. So Bob assistance now as the counter. Gravitic Flux comes out, NKZ taking out his counterpart. That's Wiaku. And just like that, I think we've seen a Vox Nihili team stabilize on this. Lots of damage coming out, and Morningstar is not able to live through it. Nicely done. Vox Nihili takes our Blizzard World 3-2-2.
Yep, and that means that Vox won 2 maps, and since it's the first to 2, that means the series is theirs as well. Ido got to play the game on Ashe probably with that beautiful bob we saw on that last point. And yeah, like you said, that was a beautiful off angle. I think we are seeing more and more come out of Samsung Morningstars. I think they're getting more and more ready for what they need to do. They might now be 2 losses down, so it's very hard to crawl back up to one of those 2 top spots in the group. They only have 2 more games to prove themselves because they're in the group of 5. But if they manage to win those 2 and get 2 2-0s and the map differential works out, they might have to do a tiebreaker or something, but there's still a chance. They're not mathematically out just yet. It will just be very difficult. And I will say, though, if you look at the group so far, it does seem like they've had the 2 favorites to play against already. So if they're going into the next game, it should get like easier and easier as the games go on. And Morningstars, like we said, they're looking better and better, but they're just not quite there yet. And Vox looks like a machine. They work well together. They have obviously have some mistakes here and there. Every team does, but they definitely look like they know what they're doing. They had a nice dive prepared and then a second strat as well on Ilios. They were completely ready for the more meta comp, even pulled out the Mercy to help with the Ashe damage boost. So they're thinking about this on like a new level, like a next thing. And because they've been together for so much longer, they also have that luxury of being more, our fundamentals are really good, and we can really focus on this strategy and tactical part of the game.
I'm with it. A well-oiled machine is Vox Nihili, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Morningstar, there's not, huge glaring mistakes to really be pointed out. We talked a little bit about Shikari and what, those blades could be, but really that's just kind of small. And really, at the end of the day, that was Vox Nihili, except for maybe the very first one, just paying all the attention in the world to that blade once you hear that Genji scream, and it makes sense, right? It's the stuff that the supports and tanks nightmares are made out of. So everybody paying attention to it makes sense.
Yeah, and I do feel that they got more and more value out of the blade as the game went on. It was just that because you only have 2 maps, if at the end of the second map, it kind of finally feels like it's there, but you still lose the map, it's just over. And I do think that they got better at like looking at what do we do against the immortality field to get value against the blade, and they started using their gravitic flux a bit more liberally in order to get the immortality field out, and then the blade followed, or like almost immediately after they destroyed the immortality field, and they were able to do so. So there's more adaptation going on for Morningstars, and I definitely want to give them credit for that. But of course, if you don't get the win, me giving you credit won't really give you what you want as a team. So hopefully they can get more wins coming out. I think we might actually be able to do with Vox. Let's see, who are we getting in here? Yep, it should be Jaru that we get in for Vox Nihili. Welcome, Jaru, to the chat. Of course, congratulations on the win.
Hi. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so I mean, did everything go according to plan to you guys? Were there some panic moments?
I mean, I think as you saw on stream, we kind of like trolled a little bit on Blizzard World, but like I don't know, it happens to like every team, I guess. We kind of like we weren't really expected them to play that way, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing for Morning Stars. Not as good for you, but you still came out on top. Of course, Vox Nihili has a core that has been together for quite a while. I think you've had some new additions in the off season. How's that been working out?
Yeah, like I kind of joined in the off season as well. Like me and Ido are like the two new additions to Vox Nihili, so like I don't know. I guess it's been okay. Like we've been able to like adjust to the team playstyle.
When Ido and Jaru play like that, and he says he gets it's been okay. It's just funny because you guys really did a fantastic job there. My question comes from, I guess just what's kind of the, we have our own ideas, but kind of what was the thinking behind the Winston to Reinhardt switch from map 1 to map 2 of Helios?
Well, normally we just like playing dive on the first map of Helios, mostly because it's like a good dive map and it's something we practice a lot. And I picked Ryan on second point because I just feel like it's a good Ryan map, right? Like it's so like I don't want to say it's linear, but like it's a lot easier for me to just like to get in swings and play around the pillars, so I don't take that much poke damage from like every single direction.
I got you. Yeah, I think linear is a decent way to describe that. Just like a lot more longitudinal than latitudinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the latitudinal. I think I have that right. Anyway, appreciate it.
Yeah, more depth and less width, something like that, right?
Yeah, like I think I get so much value on Ryan when I'm just like holding M1.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you can trust your supports right, then you can just keep swinging, and every now and then you're like, okay, now I gotta hold up the shields, be a little bit careful. But yeah, those swings are devastating, man. Like you didn't quite get the 14-second Earth Shatter, but they still, it still comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, how many did
At least
you
I got
get
the 42nd primer though, which is
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was going to be my second question here, but I want to like our camera actually kind of like pulled off a little bit. I didn't actually see how many you got on the shatter when you were coming up to corner on their side on Helios map number 2, and I think you got booped from your right side from the brig or something like that. I think you got 2. Do you know how many you actually got on that shatter?
I think I got 1. I think it was only the brig. Like at first I wanted to go for a play where I like flanked from Mega, but I think like people were shitting in my direction, so I just assumed that they were there. So I tried to go for another play, but like I only got 1 in there, so because I got booped by the brig. So
yeah, okay, gotcha. So it was just the brig you got. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Brig's obviously kind of that larger hitbox. I just saw 1 laying down. Thought it might have been 2, but interesting stuff. Still something I think you guys won a team fight off of.
Yeah.
So in the end, right? We go to Blizzard World. You said like we were throwing a little bit. Were there like specific things that were you just playing like too relaxed, or was it just because you didn't expect what they were going to do? Like, what kind of happened there? Because throwing doesn't happen just naturally. There's usually a cause. So
I think
you can
it was
speak a little more to that.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit between like playing more relaxed and like because like me not just using my brain and thinking properly, because in the back of my head I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be like a pretty like a quote unquote easy game, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's entirely fair. That's entirely fair.
Yeah. Are you expecting Morning Stars to pick up some wins later?
I guess, yeah. I won't. I think they have like.
Let's frame it appropriately, right? Because
yeah.
They played
Sorry,
you guys.
That was a bit of a
2-0.
weird.
Well, I mean, they played against Young and Beautiful, and they're 2-0, and they played against Vox Nihili, and they're 2-0, right? Like they played against, at least on paper, the 2 toughest teams in your bracket, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just framing important. Excuse me.
Yeah. So I mean, like from a perspective of just saying like, do you think they potentially have what it takes? I think you like they have potential, but they still need to bring it out, right?
Yeah, like they have like a few players in there with like that's been in the scene for a while. They have like a little bit of experience, so I think all they need is like just play together a bit more, like practice against like tougher teams, and I think that they could actually do well.
Gotcha. Just clean up the edges a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have any advice for Mercy players in this meta, because you did pull it out like with your team, what do Mercy players need to do?
I think the Mercy in our comp is literally just to like, so we can like hold the high ground a little bit more, pocket the Ash. We have more spam than them since they're playing Brick, right? So the only way, like their Brick doesn't get value if she's on low ground, but we get value of Mercy when we're holding high ground because we have a damage boosted Ash. So
okay. So what I can distill from that is whenever you really want to play Mercy, make sure your team wants to hold on high ground so that you can actually poke at someone safely and you win the spam war, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was definitely not fishing for just don't play Mercy lol answer. Don't worry.
I mean, Mercy is still pretty much weak compared to Brig, but I think she can be played on like a few maps. But it's still like
it's
kind of
more
a risk. You might as well
situational.
just
Yeah.
You might as well just stick with the Brig.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Do you personally feel that you get to play enough different heroes in the meta? Do you still feel like you're not cornered into that one role?
Actually, this meta, I feel like it's kind of diverse compared to a lot of metas. Like you can play like a lot of different comps. Like you can play brawl, you can play spam, you can play like dive.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw a match yesterday. I got to play like some Sigma on Oasis first map, was it? Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
Okay.
Nice. Well, then it does seem like you get everything you want really in tank play.
Yeah,
We were personally we were casting a match at the same time ourselves, so we unfortunately couldn't catch yours, but we'll try to catch the ones that we can, of course. Maybe we'll rewatch the VOD, and of course we also recommend all the viewers do that. We do upload the VODs after all the streams, so you can just go back and see what Jaro did on Sigma and Oasis there. But yeah, I mean, you've got 2 matches down, 2 to go. Which one are you really looking forward to, or do you looking forward to both?
I think I'm more looking forward to the Yab game since they're probably like the hardest team in the group. So it'll be good to see like how much we've improved. It's good for us to show like other people how much we've improved.
Yeah,
and
they're like the benchmark for you guys to see like where are we actually at. Makes sense. Yeah. I'm also assuming you're gonna getting like a few good scrims in with teams to prepare for those type of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, since it's tomorrow, like I guess we only have like a warm-up scrim to prepare for, but I think that's more than enough.
Yeah. Fair enough. So other than that, right? Like, do you have any players, any people, any specific personalities or communities or anything you want to thank? You know, for anything really?
No, not really.
Okay.
No shot.
Do you want to plug any content for yourself? Maybe you're streaming. Maybe you got some YouTube going on.
Nah, I don't stream. But when I do stream, it's at I can't even remember my Twitch.
Oh.
It's like it's Jaru _OW.
Okay.
JAREW _OW.
Yeah, for when I do occasionally stream.
I hear you.
Fair enough.
Well,
fair enough.
We appreciate you coming in here. Give us a minute of your time after the match here, Jaro.
Alright, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, and good luck in the next games. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, everybody, of course, you can go on there and enter into the little bit of giveaway action that we have. We talked about it a little bit earlier on stream, but just in case you're joining us now, hashtag GLAD4T2, GLADFORT2. You make some content, you attach that hashtag to it. It can be a static picture, it can be a GIF, it can be funny little meme content. Anything really, you attach that on there, you're gonna get yourself into the running for a LA Gladiators jersey. And we also have 2 different homestand skins being released. So really 1 of 3 different awesome little prizes, right? Awesome stuff. And in that way, of course, you can support Tier 2, which we all like to do.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow the teams as well if you want to see more of them, see what they're actually up to. We have Vox _Nihili going on Twitter, and as well as Samsung Morningstars ET, as if I'm not mistaken. So you'll be able to find those. Should be on the tweets, on the Twitters. Monkey Bubble O as well, of course, under the Twitters for us. And don't forget that we're going to be back with the next match very shortly. Both teams are going to be in the lobby fairly soon. So we'll throw to a quick break. We'll be right back with Roar Esports versus Avoided. In the meantime, go check out the other stream because there's still a game going on there probably. And yeah, it's more Overwatch to come. We'll see you right on the other side.
Hello and welcome back, esports fans. We are here live with game number 2 on day 2 of our EU Contenders trials. This is on Overwatch Monkey Bubble. I'm FBI Tugboat, joined here with me, Man of Class, and we got Sinza. I believe I pronounced that correctly. Down there in Producer's Box, producing away, making our job taskmasters just so much easier, and we do appreciate that. Man of Class, what did we just see between Vox Nihili and Morningstar Esports?
It only just ended, so we're still fresh in the memory. Of course, we saw Morning Stars losing out to Vox Nihili, but they made it a lot closer than they did yesterday against Young and Beautiful. Of course, Vox Nihili just says they're throwing. Of course, you gotta get some excuse, but I do think that Morning Stars played a lot better and it's starting to look more and more like it's like the team that we want them to be. Of course, it's going to be an upwards battle. Will they maybe be able to get into the top 2? But at least for now, they're going to go for the map wins, the series wins, and then see where it goes. They got still a building unit, still not as well practiced as some of these other teams as a team. So yeah, I have faith they can get there. But of course, we're getting into the next match now. And it's going to be a clash that's been happening before, especially during the last Open Division season, before both of these teams actually got to trials and then contenders for a few weeks. So it's going to be Roar Esports versus Avoided. And yeah, I mean, these teams should be familiar with each other, but you never really know. Roar Esports has some changes, new main tank, a new DPS here and there. So they used to have Multi, the young main tank from Sweden. Now they have Timu in there. Fuki is a new player, if I'm not mistaken. Naru Admiral Raptor, Zytor, Ellie is still there. So they're 100% in this still relatively new team vibe. The roster wasn't announced until a few days ago as well. Whereas Avoided, they just play together all the time. We said it yesterday. They're the community of One Tricks. They're really the players that want to show that Overwatch can be more than just everyone mirroring the same comps against each other. So that's, again, not what we're expecting today. And does Roar have something prepared for them? That's the question that we had yesterday about Vasta. But I do think that Roar might be just a little bit notch above Vasta in that preparation stage. Maybe their team is just a little bit more practiced at those type of things. And like I said, they're familiar with Avoided to a degree. So what we'll see come out here for the side of Avoided is going to change a lot about what Roar is going to do.
Yeah, also different maps and whatnot. Roar Esports and Vasta, definitely some parallels you could draw, but Avoided, like you said, coming through. If there is a dream in Overwatch, it's not to see the mirror comps over and over again as a caster, right? Like, let's just be honest. Yeah.
I think we're just looking for diversity and, you know, exciting plays and just everything you could ever hope for, and just people showing off the best capacity on the hero they want to play, right? It's like Jonak never being able to play Zenyatta because the meta doesn't go for it. That is something you never want to see happen. I think Avoided perfectly embodies that, where they just say we play what we're good at, what we want to play. So today, we're going to see these teams come out, and of course, like I said before, does Roar have something special? Will Avoided change anything from what they did yesterday? Avoided is going to go with the same thing they did yesterday, I think, with Lightbringer and Ball, going over to the Wrecking Ball and Winston, and Totti on the Torbjorn, Yesen on that beautiful Pharah. The Pharmacy comes out with T-Sorcerer, and then Hempe on the Ana. On the other side, it's going to be Dive as well.
Yeah, hardcore dive. With the exception of the Moira, this is exception of the Moira, the Ball. Excuse me. You can see this composition in Overwatch 2018. But Totti taking out Yuki with a nicely placed headshot. This is going to be a Roar Esports team that is probably going to come back and wait to push this at 6. But what I can guarantee you, Man of Class, is Avoided Pharmacy combination between T-Swords and Yezin goes unchecked. That will be a deciding factor all day long in this game, and Eli just felt the fire from it. A lot of damage against T-Sorcerer. Naru just absolutely chasing that one down. Gonna fall to a nasty boot from Tractor Kid. That's Ball afterwards. And then going to respond to his opponent Ball afterwards. So Timu actually having his work cut out for him here as he is getting chased down, Man of Class.
Yeah, and it's not quite over this fight. It just keeps on going with the balls rolling around. They finally got that fire out of the sky. Mercy already down earlier. And oh, so low there is Timo. Will actually get away with their life, and so does Ball. Both Wrecking Balls, incredibly low health. They will both be able to get healed up. But meanwhile, this fight is still raging on. It looks like Roar might actually get the upper hand in this one, Tugboat.
Yeah, avoided. This is not going to go to their advantage if this push stays on. So Naru actually has T-Sorcerer's number all day long. That's twice now that Naru's just come out absolutely slapping, finding T-Sorcerer's number. He doesn't even have the ultimate yet, and he's been pocketing this Pharah exclusively. Lightbringer following as well, maintains the lead here as Toddy follows suit, and this is Avoided, who has a much harder task at hand.
Yeah, they still haven't really flipped this point. The barrage finally comes out from Yezen, beautifully done. But right now, the D.Va of Naru is just on point. They were expecting the pharmacy. They've been shutting it down brilliantly so far. Yezen just doesn't get anything done, but this point still hasn't flipped, Tugboat. The barrier comes out. Will Roar finally be able to do it? Not with this stall. They keep getting the kills, but they also keep getting the percentage not in their favor. Finally, I think the Mercy will get cleaned up, and this point will flip at 63%. I think that's like a good 30% of stall coming out almost.
Yeah, that was just an absolute war through and through for the majority of this 63% that Avoided was able to take down. Now, a fantastic job for them to be able to stall through that and get that time. Ooh, a nasty missed Tracer Bomb in that one. Fuki's going to be regaining from 1 on that Sticky Bomb. Toddy following as well. Teemo and the other one, Tractor Kid, the ball, just finding all the value in the world from these boops off the side on Ilios. Now it's Teemu's turn to have Sorcerer's number. Gets up close, and Sorcerer actually playing it farther away. Love to see it as a Lucio main. Love to see Admiral Raptor getting those Lucio shots. The tracking perfect. Naru forced to come back a little bit as Teemu does fall. Half the tank core for the side of Avoided and Roaring Esports people calling, but this is Fuki continuing on with this. Now Eli pulling that blade, screaming that Genji voice line, getting a little bit lower in the back, but Tractor Kid being the last on his chopping block.
A 3-kill with that Dragon Blade was so clutch to get out there. Gets the fire out of the sky, manages to get that ball. It's just beautifully done. And Admiral Raptor and Zytor have been helping out so much dealing with that pharmacy. They're able to heal everybody up. They're able to be evasive enough not to just get one-shot by the Pharah. And yeah, the damage of both Moira and Lucio is relatively easy to get onto a pharmacy. Now Naru goes down early, wasn't in mech, and the barrage gets 1 as well. A lot of healing gone.
2 on that one as Teemo gets another boop off the side, and through the thick of things, Avoided able to take this point again. They'll be taking percentage points with 2 down as well. Toddy and Tractor Kid going to be starting that march back to point.
Yeah, a lot of things happening here. We haven't even been able to talk about the ultimate economy, but now it really starts to come in here. Wrecking Ball and D.Va having their ultimates ready on the side of Roar, as well as close to being Sound Barrier, but there's some online as well. Will that Molten Core get more value than the first one from Toddy soon?
The Nano Boost comes out for Yezen, takes advantage from it. Naru gets out of mech and then deleted shortly thereafter. Fuki now back from spawn. Boosting back, coming here soon. Toddy trying to get something done. There's a minefield out now from the side of Teemo. This is Roar Esports fighting all over point as we hit 99 for Avoided. Lots done here. Toddy now utilizing that Torb ultimate out. Still got a little bit left in the tank and trying to get all over. Here's Yezen. He has that barrage, but needs to get away from this Pharah, of this D.Va first. D.Va's still alive though. Doesn't have that defense matrix soon. Getting up close and personal. Yezen actually playing a very dangerous game by staying onto point, and just like that, nice boop. But this ball will be able to get back, or should be able to get back. Now that's Fuki's first Tracer Bomb kill, and against a Pharah. What is going on here, man of class?
I think they were on the ground. They did get the res back off. The Lightbringer again goes off the map. That's been happening a few times now. And Teemo was able to have a grapple hook ready just to get back on onto the high ground. Will now be able to start this very last fight off with a Blade and a Coalescence with only a Barrage and maybe Nano on the other side. If the Nano Barrage comes out, that could be devastating. But will they have the time to get back? I think they do.
Yeah, Hampei gonna have to get another 25% on that one beforehand. The flip comes all the way through. Avoided takes it with no transgressions occurring on point. Interesting stuff. Nobody from the side of Roar able to get there as Hampei does fall. UK getting that dive damage in. Admiral and Raptor as well falling on this one as Lightbringer dies again. Lightbringer on the Winston just not able to get the same amount of value. Eli does have that blade, but no need to pull it out quite yet as the flip coming back through. 99.9 for both of these guys. Nice stick as Fuki finds his second. Here's a Blade for Eli, trying to get something going, and Blade gives it one to the back of the head for Yasin. After that, Barrage comes out close. Again, a dangerous game being played from him. Lightbringer deleted down on point again.
And Roar picks up the first point in a beautiful fashion. Toddy was under so much pressure, tries to come back as Symmetra, and they just focus down the DPS first. They choose to give that point up in order to get those backline picks and then get all that damage value and the damage advantage in their fight. Because both the Torbjorn and Symmetra, once they get set up, you don't want to have to deal with those. Toddy is going to go back over to that Torbjorn, is going to try and do this again, and I think on Lighthouse, it might be even more threatening because you fight into the open a lot more than you do on Lighthouse there, and Well is just also, again, just a playing ground for boop kills. Not a lot of targets that are easy to boop, but we saw Lightbringer go off the map a lot of times, though, so... You know, maybe some more here. Yeah, it would be surprising, but I think they're really capitalizing on Lightbringer jumping in, and then the ball comes in to boop him off, or the Diva, or something like that. So they're recognizing the cooldown difference.
Yes, not the action, but the reaction. Lightbringer, I'm jumping in, cooldown ability started, and they just take advantage of that one all day long. Admiral Raptor will be looking for him for lots of boops as his free gets very, very low. Yezin takes out his counterpart DPS as T-Source are forced to get up and away, but Lightbringer gives it all the way up there, gives him the static amplifier up in the air. Who would have guessed it? Yezin back in this one now as he's getting his number taken by this Diva, and actually Sonaro just kind of abandons that one, goes inside and loses his mech. Admiral Raptor, oh, the boop almost there, but that was Lightbringer able to catch the corner just at the last second. We're on board with him, and trying to boop tanks like this is it's an admirable pursuit, but I'm not sure how much value that's going to get you.
No, I'm not sure either, but they do have control of the point as they are avoided right now. Roar was trying to get it back, but it's going to be a similar story as it was on Lighthouse earlier. They're going to have to work for it because otherwise this gets stalled out forever. They are in numbers advantage. That minefield could bar them from an escape, but Fuki is popping off your tugboat.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, again, about that first action, about who takes point first. It's about who takes it second. This is Roar Esports about to take this one after leading down Lightbringer. Yazen, now Sorcerer, going to have his work cut out for him just by staying alive. Ball is back. Ball gets a one kill, actually. Naru, I think, might have gotten booped. I don't think ran out there by himself. Just no credit for our Tractor Kid Ball player. Now flipped on over from 40 to 8% for the side of Roar Esports.
It looks like we will get that percentage going for them a little bit earlier than it was last time. Last time I think they got to 60 almost when they flipped it. 63. And this point can be notoriously hard to take back, especially against dives that can just keep backing up. And the ultimates are now going to come out. It's a light fest on the top of my screen.
Yeah, Toddy here has gotten a good spray, but I don't believe there's a whole lot of members who are sectioned off to that point. They just get out and out of dodge quickly. Teemo doing Teemo things, spinning around on point, does take out Lightbringer there towards the end, not able to utilize that Primal Rage. Not sure if he had it right before or just decided this one was not worth it, but avoided esports, half of them gone, and everybody who's dead is the one who's with ultimates. Hanpei will have his rally here soon, but T-Sorcerer, Yazin, and Lightbringer all have those glowing ultimate symbols.
And it does seem like Roar sort of figured out avoided here. I think they're not completely there, but this ultimate kill, Fuki has been popping so far. I think that's the main problem. Normally, Roar is avoided is ready for their fire to be the distraction, but this time the Trace from the other side is distracting them more.
Yeah, Fuki came out a little bit slow, but he got tired of missing. He's been sticking these bombs like just left and right. It really has not missed one in a while.
I'll go into this next fight though. You see these ultimates once again. They just keep charging him so fast, Tugboat. They just keep going.
60% already. Yeah, he's giving the necessary interactions in the back. He's about to have another sticky bomb as we come out. Minefield now utilized from Teemo. Got a few members in there, but not 100% sure. Here's a barrage, and Fuki and more just to turn their attention to the skies. Yezin not able to live through that one. Yuki trying to get something going against a Brig, and yeah, very courageous attempt here. Forced to come back a little bit as Lightbringer does take his first kill a little bit against Zytor. No more ability, no coalescence coming out from them for a while. Eli, Fuki both have those DPS ultimates. This Tractor Kid's minefield does take out his counterpart, the opposing Ball, for the time being. 99 now against 40 or so for the side of Avoided, but just like that, the Tractor Kid's minefield finds all the advantage in the world. 47% now from the side of Avoided.
And the question is, how much does Roar really care about that? Because they've still got 3 ultimates ready. The sound barrier is getting close-ish, and there's only a Molten Core on the other side. Everyone else is at 50 or lower. So a good advantage here for Roar if they can get back in there. And if this fight goes long, it might just be the last fight we see on this point.
Yeah, we're definitely reaching close to that territory now. Fuki trying to get up here, but we talked earlier about the advantage that, you know, just simply being higher up, being aerially attached, gonna be bringing to the various teams. Tractor Kid taking out a 2-piece here as Daylight trying to get something going. There's a Blade out. The Blade is now in. Teemo finding one against T-Sorcerer. Half the healing for the side of Avoided now done. One of the damage gone for the side of Roar Esports is Avoided doing a good job of holding on here. Yeah, so 89%, and with only a couple members of movement abilities for Avoided, they're going to have their work cut out for them getting back.
I think they'll be able to make it. The ball's going out to the right side, so Teemo will be able to touch. That will not be the issue, but they got to get some value out of these ultimates. They still have a few online, and especially that sound barrier is going to be huge. Oh, ball going into the well. That's a great play from Teemo.
Yeah, Teemo taking out his counterpart, the opposing ball, not something we're going to see very frequently. Eli has switched now over to the Soldier 76. A little bit of a different look for this kit scan. Fuki there. Fuki gets the stick. Nicely done. Hampe falling again to a Fuki well-placed bomb. Lots of members from the side of Roar Esports getting out the necessary damage as Genza and Keythrows are forced to hit the hills on this one. Naru getting up close and personal, shutting down anything they get going from up top. And here comes the barrage. This might be a deciding factor. Teemo gets there just in time as Fuki does fall. Tractor Kid able to take one. Not going to matter. Roar Esports comes through a slapping for a 2-0 win on Ilios. Is the first 2-2 and they're halfway there, Mana Class.
100% the case, and we're going to Blizzard World next. We will see probably those substitutions come out from Avoided as well. And if I have to guess, though, I do feel like this is not what Avoided is sort of used to playing. Like, yes, they can play this, but having, you know, Toddy have to be on the Torbjorn, Lightbringer on the Winston, it's not the signature style that we know them for. Of course, they are definitely trying, and they're definitely broadening their roster, broadening their capacity, and Lightbringer has had tank experience in the past. But, you know, I don't think they're quite there yet as a unit. So Roar being able to capitalize on that, doing a very good job of picking a composition that actually works very well against what they're doing, as long as they can shut down that Pharah and they can keep the parts on the ground moving. They have a very good chance of just having an advantageous ground fight. Because, of course, Pharmacy, that's 2 in the sky. And if you only have to invest 1 or 2 in that every now and then, you're going to be even, if not advantageous, on the low ground. So Roar recognizing that that's what they have to do, executing it beautifully as well. And now that we're going into Blizzard World, that will probably be a bit of a change. They'll probably Avoided changing something out. I think they might... No, they're not. It looks like they're just saying they're ready. So they're going in with the exact same thing. Maybe they're just going to keep on playing this dive. That's very possible. Maybe someone's sick, someone's power is out. Yeah, oh no, they're not ready. So we have a view in the lobby, of course. So the teams are like, oh, are you ready? Can we start playing again? They're like, no, we're not ready. So I think they might still make the substitution. They're going to swap sides at least. So Roar's going to start on the attack here. And Mini-Me does seem to be coming into the lobby, so we will likely see Lightbringer be swapped out for that. I was a little bit surprised that they hadn't done that, but then again, you know, we talked to Lightbringer yesterday. They say they want to throw some curveballs at teams, and I'm 100% expecting them to keep doing that. But for now, I do think they don't really have a reason to swap out what's been working so far. On Ilios, maybe on Control, they'll revisit that. But I do definitely think that... yeah, so Toddy's going to get subbed out again. I think they want to keep playing with the Torbjorn, so they're not going... So yesterday, they went with the Junkrat Pharah on Blizzard World. Correct? So this time around, it seems...
Yeah, at least for the first...
for the first points. Yeah. So now that they're expecting Roar to potentially keep playing dive, they're not going to pick the Junkrat, because I do think the Junkrat, it gets a lot less value against dive than maybe against other comps. So that's why they're probably bringing in, keeping in Lightbringer. So they're swapping Toddy out. Lightbringer is going to the DPS slot, and Mini-Me comes into that main tank slot. So we'll likely see the Avoided special, where it's going to be Lightbringer, Torbjorn, Yezen on the Pharah, Mini-Me on the Orisa, Tractor Kid or Ball on the Wrecking Ball, T-Sorcerer on the Mercy, and Hempe on the Ana or the Baptiste, depending on what they kind of feel like in that situation. So likely no Junkrat this time around, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they've thought about that and definitely thought this is like the play to make. And yeah, now the question is, will Roar change anything? Will they just go with the same thing they did in the last one? Will they go with the exact same lineup? Will they change up a few things? Maybe they go that full meta thing with a double barrier. I know. I mean, we're going to see it soon, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, Roar Esports with no roster changes, but heroes-wise, their team composition might be a little bit different. I have to agree with the avoided switch here. It wasn't that Toddy was playing poorly on Torbjorn by any means. It was just that the Torb, and particularly the turret, was getting shut down a lot, right? It makes sense to switch around the tank core because, again, Lightbringer was coming through here and playing a very, very aggressive Winston. We saw him fall a couple times at the beginning of team fights. So, again, just kind of makes sense to have a little bit more of a conservative look at this. Yezin, T-Sorcerer, we know exactly where they're going. Hampe now over on the Brig. I'm not sure if we've seen Hampe on Brig yet.
No, I'm not sure either. I think we did maybe yesterday, but the Brig does make a lot of sense. It's definitely a pick that has been run a lot in the lately, 100%. The armor's still good. Brig in general still good against dive. She still does a lot of healing. The rallies gets that value. The whip shot, the shield bash. It's still a very good hero. Just doesn't have the overheal anymore. And we will see Roar scout it out and swap over to the exact same thing they did just now. They don't want to get caught by the Pharah. And they do still want to have that mobility. They want to have that burst damage. So they go with that full dive. But Teemo again on the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, so the Lucio Moira healing core for the side of Roar Esports makes sense. Just something a lot more mobile, like you were saying. So something we've seen actually last matchup is we're on board here with Eli coming all the way back around as Fuki takes his first. No Torbjorn here as Void are going to be fighting this 5-2-6. No Torbjorn turret as well. Yezin getting a lot of unwanted attention up top as Admiral Raptor does take a nice little boop action against Hampe. Not sure if that was off the side, just a finishing blow for his Sonic Amplifier, but a lot of back and forth here. Hampe getting the res off, or getting a res. T-Sorcerer managed to find that one in the thick of things as Eli does fall to a whole lot of attention and damage. Yezin very close to that barrage as there's no reason to stop this offensive push.
Yeah, and we've seen how good Avoided reacts to having control over an objective. They will lose Yezin here late, but so there will be an advantageous spawn because Roar Esports can get in very quickly, and they're going to do just that. Immediately threaten this point, get the turret out of the way, and now their offense can truly begin.
So I think the issue there was there's not enough healing for Hampe. T-Source had to look other ways while Yezin was trying to get something going. Barrage still on board for him as Fuki finds another stick against Hampe. He's got to be tired of that already. T-Source getting very, very low. Again, that D.Va giving a lot of attention up top, and Naru just sacrifices the body to make sure that barrage goes nowhere. Naru continuing on getting this one going. Is Eli and more. That's the side of Roar Esports down bottom taking out the necessary picks. And
Naru. It's so amazing. Like, Naru, you said they gave up the body. They didn't even give up the body. I thought so too. I thought they would have lost the mech there. But it was just that sliver of HP they had left. They could get healed back up and just keep on rolling with that D.Va body. And now there's a lot of ultimates online for the attack. Roar Esports in a great...
I get it.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, they're in a great spot here with their ultimates. And there's not that much to work with on the defense. They'll have maybe a Molten Core. They get the Rally and the Valkyrie, so they have some sustain. But it's hard to fight against everything that's going to come out here on the other side.
Yeah. Roar is about 5 seconds away from a 5-man ultimate ability for them. Zytor on the Moira, the only one not up there quite yet. Here comes Blade from Eli. Here comes the Sticky Bomb from Fuki. Actually misses one for the first time in a while. Eli getting a lot of attention against him from that ball, and it's just simply hard to Dragon Strike, 4 or 5 times against the same ball, and they have those shielding capabilities. Here comes the Torbolt all over point. Lightbringer falling after getting that one out, and turret following suit. This is Roar Esports in the driver's seat.
And I really think they did a great job of shutting down the Genji Blade. The Brigitte reaction was good from Hampe, Teemo following it up, but they just couldn't win the rest of the fight because they invested so many resources into defending against that Genji. Another minefield comes out from the defense though. Nicely done. Minimi gets the kill on the Admiral Raptor, and Naru's out of mech.
Yeah, wow, so Zytor still holding that Coalescence, but not really able to find a whole lot of value with it. Fuki trying to go duck hunting here, sitting shots up top, not going to matter. And even through the thick of things, rest of Avoided finding kills left, right, and center. Now, talk to me about ultimate economy here for a secend.
I just kind of felt like Ball was just yelling at Yezin, just keep flying away, I can get the Tracer, just hide, it's fine. And that didn't work out. But yeah, ultimate economy wise, Fuki will have a pulse bomb. Yezem will have a barrage, and Minimi will have a supercharger, but everyone else is quite far away. Teemo might get up to that minefield, but the cart's in a very precarious position. It's much harder to push into this because the spawns and the defense are incredibly close. You need to find win a fight convincingly, not lose any, or maybe not more than one, maybe two members. Otherwise, you just won't be able to get that point there.
Yeah, I mean, and this is Aurora Esports team. Every single hero on this team has a, not just even a small one, but a significant movement ability. Throw a little Lucio speed boost action on top, and you're looking at a very, very mobile team. Getting a little bit closer here, honestly, I'm looking at Avoided, and they have the ultimate advantage. They have to know to a certain extent they did because they saw so many ultimate calls just in the last team fight. Yazen continuing to get the business from this Naru Diva. Tries to come down, and Naru lives with his mech again. Okay, alright, I was gonna say, if Naru lives with this mech again after another barrage from up top, I'm just gonna absolutely lose it. Lightbringer and more trying to hold on here. Avoid Esports has their work cut out for them as Zaitor now pulling out this Coalescence. He's got this Mercy in his sights and does take that down, gets a whole lot of advantage by taking out most of a minefield afterwards. Called this guy the Minesweeper. Yazen does get one there towards the end against Naru, the baby diva, but it looks like Avoided has done a good job, or no, Avoided has lost this, excuse me, and Roar Esports has done a good job of stabilizing.
Yeah, very well done. I am 100% in favor of Roar getting that checkpoint there. They did a great job avoiding certain ultimates of Avoided, and now Fuki is just going to keep on pressuring on. This is like the escort mode, right? Where Dive just keeps on going forward on a map like Watchpoint Gibraltar, just keeps getting the space, keeps pushing it into spawn. And eventually it's going to run out their luck, but right now they have the ultimates, they have the positioning, and they have the numbers.
Yeah, it's all about that that little bit of space, that yardage getting in front of this payload so they just can keep on pushing in. And really, this last corner here is just such a big, big objective. Once they get this, it looks like, okay, Void actually going to give this one up. Interesting stuff. 2 minutes to go here as we see ultimates all across the top. Buki actually even missed that one. He's got to be about 50% at this point as Zaitor now pulling out the Coalescence. A lot of ultimates now being shouted here between point and back towards defense. That's Yazen's barrage that decides a team fight again, though. Mini-Me had the assistance there. You had the supercharger, so that really made this capable to just come through very, very quickly and get those kills. Tractor Kid following it there in the end is not great for the defense, though.
No, it will be another hold here for Avoided, but it's getting closer and closer. One good fight win, and then maybe some extra cleanup for the respawns. The Eli's ready for the blade. They're going to throw it out soon, and there's no immortality field to work against. You got to dodge the break.
Got this Torb in his sights and actually lets him run back. Eli just opts to take out the turret on this one, trying to get with the rest of his team, and that's Roar Esports that just takes advantage of that kind of middling area that time when nothing else is going on. Avoided Esports with a wholehearted team kill.
They keep on dragging these ultimates out of Avoided in a seemingly unnecessary fashion. Avoided kind of maybe almost expecting more ultimates to come out from Roar, because Roar's got 5 now. They just made the call, hold the ultimates, it's fine. We'll win the next fight with all the ultimates we have. We just use 2 or 3, and then we have 2 more for the respawns, 45 seconds. We'll make it. We'll make it. Might be in overtime, but we'll get there.
No, I'm with it. I'm with it. Apt analysis, man, class. I like it a lot. There's really nobody on the side of Avoided outside of Yezmi who's been able to get this that quickly, and he's only at 75 himself. Teemo over here. Minefield should be coming out here soon. Nope, actually going to stall that one out a little bit because Roar Esports just dropped their sound barrier. Lightbringer falling here. Teemo doing a fantastic job of diving. Briggs going to be his next target. Hyampe falling on that one. Teemo getting all the value in the world. There's another stick. Fuki proving me wrong. I love it. This is Roar Esports doing fantastic things. Hasn't actually lost anybody until Teemo. He got a lot of aggression. Is going to get taken out for there towards the end, but I think Roar Esports might be holding on to this. Zaitor has that Coalescence, and here it comes. Tractor Kid just getting absolutely chased down here. The healing and damage being traded all the way through, and there's the barrage from up top. Naru meets him up there again, and that's not going to bode well for Yazen. No barrage wants to meet a defense matrix, or a defense diva, excuse me, on the way there. Here comes the
nice res.
Yeah, and the thicker thing is too, so Yazen's back in this one, full 6 against full 6, as Mini-Me's supercharger gets deleted just as quickly as it comes out. A lot of damage against this Torb. There's a stick again! Hampe just getting absolutely sniped by these sticks.
They get off the carts!
But, yep,
oh no!
Yep.
They were so good. I mean, that fight was turning a little bit. I do think Roar was losing some members, but they could have maybe done the other way and forced them off the cart instead. But unfortunately, they almost get to the end, not quite, and now it's up to Avoided to break that record. But yeah, so many good plays. I really do feel though that someone on the side of Roar just keeps to have to tell Naru which button they have to press to move, because I feel like all they have been seeing is like the sky at the map. They've just been looking upwards. Just like where's Yasin? Where do I have to point my defense matrix to this time? And then when he hasn't died, they can finally see, oh, we're on point 3. Okay, this is where we are.
Yeah.
So Naru 100% helping with focusing that down. But once again, Zytor and Admiral Raptor are very integral in making that happen as well. Constantly shooting bullets at it as well. Constantly having Zytor also right-click it. Because it doesn't even mean that you can kill that Pharah all the time, but it means that the Mercy has to keep not damage boosting the Pharah. So it denies a lot of extra added value, and you can also choose to focus the Mercy so the Pharah has to play more safe, because otherwise the Mercy dies. So a lot of good playing around that pharmacy comp of Roar. They couldn't quite finish the map, but they got very far, did a very good job, got good momentum. And now it's up to Avoided to again. They have to break that. And they're going to do it with the same comp. T-Sorcerer going to stay on that Mercy, Yezen on that Pharah, and Lightbringer on the attack Torbjorn. We know it can work, but Fuki and Ellie, once again, on that Tracer Sombra, they're going to try and deny everything that they want to do in setup.
One of the matchups we're going to see here continuously is Fuki, now Eli probably getting a little bit more involved against the Hanpei Brig. Again, the two up top and the Soul Healer down bottom, who's forced to take care of, or forced to help out his Lightbringer Torb, the Mini-Me Orisa, and the Tracker Kid Ball. Lots going on there, and actually Eli getting sniffed out very, very early, as does T-Sorcerer, so a DPS from one side, DPS from the other side, as well as the healer. This is Roar Esports doing a great job on defense so far. Naru looking to get up here. Brig says no go, but Timu and company is still getting the picks that they need, and is all but a team kill against the side of Avoided.
That will be a good start here from Roar on the defense. Of course, they have to buy as much time as they can, and even obviously try to hold the first point. That would be even better. But the ultimates are taken up. Of course, Fuki on the lead on that one, up to 80% almost already. And that first stick, can they get it, yes or no? That's the question, because that's the only ultimate that's going to be in line for the remainder of this first fight. Second fight, really.
The first strike ultimate is always going to have so much value here, and Fuki's not very far away from it. But actually doesn't even need to take out Hanpei in this one. Admiral Raptor providing a little bit of value, a little bit of help on this one, as T-Sorcerer done as well. So Avoided's healing core just like that. Done, dusted. We'll see you back in spawn.
And I think it's beautiful that what Avoid is doing here. They're still getting these kills, but Roar is going for this incredibly aggressive play. They're waiting for them to rotate and then catch the backline in rotation, especially Hanpei is under a lot of fire. Like I said, they are getting some kills here on Avoided now. Throw the minefield out on point. This will be a good opportunity for them to get it, because they will have the numbers advantage for quite a while.
Just like that, Yezen a little bit low, but is going to be assisted there in the back. About halfway now for the side of Avoided on point. Roar trying to get back on this one. Here comes the Coalescence. Zytor trying to start out this team fight with it. Fuki, Timo both deleted. Lightbreaker going for the other side of 4-5 for right now. Now here comes the EMP. Eli trying something. Lightbringer shuts it down instantly. The EMP against Avoided providing a lot of value. Here comes the Sound Barrier, but that only connects with half of Roar Esports. In through the thick of things, the res comes through for Yazen. He comes back and instantly takes down a Baby Diva. Zytor as well, so the main healing core for the side of Roar Esports done. Yuki trying to hold on to this one, as are other members of the side of Roar Esports, but I think Avoided is taking this one.
Yeah, Avoided will eventually get it, but this stall has been incredible. 3 minutes 50 left for second point, and that can drain away very quickly on this one. But they've got a barrage ready, they've got a minefield ready. It's the second one already from Ball. You can just see how much damage they output. And that will really be all that's on the field. Of course, Fuki will have a pulse bomb, but I don't think we even need to mention that anymore at this point. They get these pulse bombs so quickly because they can just keep farming these tanks, right? And this Brigitte, it's so easy to get the damage value.
Yeah, Hanpei, I mean, yeah, the Fuki has just been doing nasty things to him, especially because, again, T-Sorcerer is spending so much time up top. Nicely done, taking out Naru to begin with, and then the barrage actually just started from a little bit too high, maybe? Not 100% sure about that one. Trades coming all the way through. Yezen taking up this res again. T-Sorcerer putting that one on cooldown. Timo getting very aggressive, instantly stunned, bashed, whole lot of damage against him. Avoided has stabilized.
Yeah, and I really think that they've been able to deal with Teemo a lot better now. The Brigitte is ready. They're coordinating their halt and then the stun. Of course, they're now playing something that can actually double disable the Wrecking Ball on the other side. Was before they were running the Winston. So that's something that helping them out a lot. The extra boops from Ball, the halts from Minimi, and then the Shield Bash from Hempe. That's usually enough to get that Ball kill.
The coordination always going to be the name of the game on this one. T-Source are falling a little bit early. Yezen getting chased down afterwards. And I think just like that, main source of damage, main source of healing gone. Avoided has lost this one. Eli
still luck coming out from Lightbringer.
Yeah, it's still coming out. Tractor Kid does tank out Zytor, so they're only going to be relying on Lucio for heals, but unless there's something sneaky in the back, yeah, it's just hard to do when your main healer and your main source of damage down, right?
It really helps in that case to have more on the field. I do think that with all these ultimates that they're going to have coming up, this will be an explosive fight. It's only Zytor that will be nowhere near, but everyone else is going to have it at some point. So 5v6 in ultimates, and there's a beautiful EMP on the pharmacy.
Teleport up top, giving EMP to both of them. That's a nasty present. Naru trying to get more damage in. T-Source are the only one who fell on the initial strike here, but so Naru's going to have that D.Va bomb. If he gets that pool shot over, we will see. He definitely knows exactly where the members of Avoided are. I do believe we have T-Sorcerer back with the rest of the team now. Yeah, and Yezen up top, continuing on with that. Here comes the D.Va bomb! Getting out T-Sorcerer again. Naru just absolutely fighting this one, and Fuki continuing to do Fuki things.
Yeah, I'm very impressed so far with what Fuki has been able to put out on that Tracer. We know it can be hard to get value sometimes, but Fuki doesn't seem to have any trouble with that one. 1 minute to go. There's still so many tools online for Avoided. They just haven't been able to get in and actually use them. But with this early pick on Eli, I do think they have a nice opening to get going. They just need to not get caught out in the back line.
Yeah, Hempe the only one nowhere near that after the rally invested the last team fight.
Oh no.
Now Teemo's here. The seismic slam down, and Lightbringer just gets absolutely deleted there after a nice combination from our ball player. Tractor Kid taking out his team, or his counterpart, excuse me, on that. The Lightbringer now res back up. This is a 6-5 advantage Avoided. Admiral Raptor falling as well. Zytor done. That's the healing core, but we have reached our next. We have a little bit more time on the clock here, Mana Class.
Yeah, and they even got the translocator from Eli in that middle of that with the rocket. And that's always nice. If you don't know where the Sombra is, you see your translocator, at least you know she won't be able to teleport away when you do find her. And Eli is now behind them, goes into that spawn area, the previous spawn area, and now point 3, 135. This is going to be a close one, but with the ultimates that's left for Roar, this first fight shouldn't be.
From Zytor Coalescence to start with, they have 3 more on board, excuse me. Fuki trying to get in the back, but gets a lot of damage against the members of Avoided, trying to get back T-Sorcerer, Guardian Angeling? Using the Guardian Angel ability to get back there, but not going to be fast enough. Hack against Tractor Kid, not rolling around for the time being. Cruz stopped on that 1 minute. Left on here is members of esports looking like they're just kind of trying to get together. Wait, that looked like a stick. Maybe I don't know my Tracer play, excuse me.
Yeah, I think they got on the shield and then you can drop it. You can drop it from the shield, but Teemo and Fuki still again the follow-up here. Get a 4K together, 5K for Teemo. And that is just a clean-up team kill. Nicely done. The Tracer and the ball combining for all the last hits there. 50-50. Nice balanced trade. But this is where Roar is going to get a little bit scared, because there will be 4 ultimates online on the side of Avoided soon. 30 seconds left. This is really the fight that it's all about. It's going to be the last fight territory. No more chances after this. And will they get an overtime, or will they lose the series? That's Avoided's question. They got lose that first 2. No.
Naru, nice D.Va bomb. They only have 15 seconds left. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for Avoided. They lost the first one. This is a rock and a hard place, and they have no more time left. 2 ultimates on board, but not sure if Lightbringer and Yezen are going to be able to use those ones. Tractor now has it. Sorcerer close. 5 seconds to go. Nobody there quite yet. Has gotten the contest juice. This should be a little bit overtime congestion. Teemo over the side, getting those 2-sided sources of damage again. Fuki there. Fuki's got the bomb. Hempe falling from well-placed melee from Teemo so far. Eli down, so 5-5 as T-Sword falls. The healing core from the side of esports gone, or from Avoided gone, excuse me. And just like that, Yezen and more trying to get something going, trying to overpower with the damage. They have gotten it. Yezen getting so low and Avoided getting a lot closer, but Fuki giving the attention that's needed. A lot of players from the side of Roar gonna be on the respawn. 4 meters away, contest comes through, Fuki there. Gonna buy time for the rest of the team to get there. Eli very close to this EMP, but gets damaged and forced to come back from this one. Only 50, the hack comes through for this. No, it doesn't hack the small health back, that's okay. EMP there.
There's the hack.
Vast majority of the side of Avoided and 3.97 meters away. I think this might be the deciding factor. Tractor Kids takes not 1, but 2 as the minefield comes out. Lightbringer gets the eye tour. A lot of members on the side have avoided, and they have the manpower to get through here. Teemo deleted, only Lucio back, and that's it. 3 meters away, 2 meters away, and they take it. We have a 1-to-1 series on our hands.
Oh, Avoided. Keiki gets so close. But that EMP come out, I was like, okay, there's got to be people that die now. But luckily, Ball was already rolling, was already getting those double kills, and there was just not enough damage left to really stave them off. They almost got off the cart when they really shouldn't have, but that was so close. Very nicely done from Avoided to get that back. And now that we're going into map 3, we're going to go to Route 66, and I think that's really not just the map, but it's truly going to be the Wild West. We really don't know what's going to happen. It's incredibly close between these teams, and Roar is really prepared for this. They've always been more of a dive-oriented team anyways, and being able to play that against an Avoided team that's so susceptible to it sometimes, but it can also play it themselves so well. It's a really nice balance of chaos versus coordinated play versus just everything really, and creativity as well, because you saw what Roar did. Every now and then they just get a backline pick. Sometimes they focus on the front line. They always switch it up, and Avoided is actually trying to keep up with them sometimes rather than Roar keeping up with Avoided, which is what we often see when teams play against them.
Yeah, I'm with it. Shout out to Fuki there. He's doing everything that he could. Eli as well, you know, a really, really great EMP. And I am just in awe that Avoided was able to live through that. I mean, especially given what EMP does to individual characters like Ball. Really, really surprised and impressed, honestly. Fantastic job from Avoided. They came through here, tied it up, now 1-1. They're back at that even playing field, Mana Class.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very good one. We're gonna be seeing, like you said, Route 66. I don't know. Like, I really don't know what's gonna happen here. Like, is Avoided gonna switch something up? Are they gonna change anything about their team comp? I don't think so. I think Avoided's team comp will still work. I think, you know, the players they have in, it will still work. They might change up something in the support line. They might play either Brigitte, the Ana, or maybe even a Baptiste on Hempe. I think Hempe is a very flexible player in that sense. It's a great addition to that squad. Used to be on no commitments, and then, you know, swapped over to Avoided to you know, scratch that one trick itch a little bit more, maybe just have fun with it. And on Roar, I don't know, like you said, it's been great for Fuki. It's been great for Eli. Teemo has been doing great on the Ball. Cannot quite match the same value that Ball himself is getting, Tractor Kid, because they are, of course, that Ball specialist that everyone knows and loves. But Naru on the D.Va shutting down Yezen all the time.
Yes.
Yezen still getting a lot of value when Naru just cannot be looking all the time. But yeah, I mean, all of that will be coming at you very soon, because we have to go to a little bit of a break. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We'll be right back with you with more of this action, because these people cannot be stopped, and I do think we just need a breather, a little bit of hydration. So get some snacks, and we'll be right back at you.
And we are back, Overwatch fans, here with day number 2 of Monkey Bubble's Contenders Trials for the EU region. FBI Tugboat here, Mana Class, casting with me, and Sinza down there producing away, making our job just so much easier. Doing very well, and we appreciate it. Route 66 now, between Roar and Avoided after we saw the tie-up. 2-0 on Helios for the side of Roar Esports. 3-2 for the side of Avoided against Roar Esports on the Blizzard World. And now we got the Route 66 tiebreaker.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for this one because Escort is always that map type that relies on momentum and push through. And sometimes you cannot break the momentum that the defense is setting up. And so far, both of these teams have just been neck and neck. It's been so incredibly close. So it could really go everywhere. It all depends on how much value they're getting on other picks, how much value they're getting on their certain strategy executes. And all of it is really going to rely on what is going to happen with Fuki. Is they going to get the same value? Is Lightbringer going to get the same value on his Torbjorn, going to get shut down a little bit more? How is the Yeza Naru matchup going with that Pharmacy Diva, which is likely still going to happen? And there's so many question marks in that case. We will see the defense once again be avoided first. Roar is going to start on the attack, and they haven't switched everything out. No, Avoided going to do the same thing. We expect that from them. But there might be some changes coming out from Roar depending on whether they're on attack or defense, because we have seen them swap up either to a Sombra or to a Genji sometimes. They have some flexibility in how they deal with it. But those tanks and DPS support's been the same.
Yeah, so yeah, Eli has been the only one who's really switched, right? Zytor's been playing the Moira pretty much exclusively, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuki now on the Widowmaker to start out. I think that's a nice pick just to get maybe some opening picks. I don't think they're going to stick on it though, because Widowmaker gets shut down hard by this divey composition.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's the momentary switch on the Ana to try and assist the sniper shots, get, a lead-up body shot, maybe a shot from the Ana for an early pick, but not going to happen so easy, like you were saying. Eli, over here on the Sombra, I was going to, I'm sorry, what did you say?
I think what we're going to see here is that this high ground defense is just going to keep on going here. We will be seeing a little bit of a Lightbringer kill on the Admiral Raptor. Roar is trying to get some more point progress, but they do lose that main healer in that case. Zytor also under a lot of pressure here, almost going down. It will be the hack on the Tractor Kit to get more going Tugboat.
Yeah, the super mobile, super divey composition for the side of Team Avoided is going to continue to roll across this. I mean, they have no shields available. I really think that the Diva ball composition that Roar Esports was running on Blizzard World it really did work. Might be a different story on Route 66 though. Big Earl is the place to be. Lightbringer getting a nasty hack against him, almost getting taken down here, but the healers to the side of Avoid doing a great job. Yezen getting just absolutely knocked out of the sky here by Fuki. Fuki and Naru both members. We talked about Naru a lot. Fuki's also been doing a great job of maintaining sightlines of this Pharah up top and make sure they're not going to be too much available for Yezen. Lightbringer, the turret not going to be available for the next this one, and the T-Source does fall. Naru is just running all over this one, getting a little bit of damage against everybody. A lot of ultimates on board for Avoided though.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates online for Avoided indeed, but so do Roar have quite a few coming up. They're almost at the full 6 with Admiral Raptor lagging behind a little bit, almost at 80% here. So yeah, it will be a ultimate fiesta as we call it on Route 66, but there will be a late kill on the Lightbringer, so this defense has to set up a little bit slower than they might want to.
Yeah, so this is two teams fighting very far away from this point. But I guess that just goes to show for the versatility of Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
Are these Avoided members trying to come? Oh, okay, no, excuse me. They're not coming back. They're just maintaining this so that Fuki and Eli do not get that. It looked like Hampe had the shield up, but the res is going to come through, negate out that Tracer stick, and this team fight will still continue on 6-2-6. A lot of advantage, a lot of progress has happened for Roar Esports in the past 20-30 seconds or so. We have a lot of glowing ultimates on board. That's first now Tractor Kid's minefield. Teemo's going to have to be forced to rotate on around here and look for a different place to put his own minefield. The Pharmacy combination still up top. Those two, no, excuse me, the Pharah, the Yezen, and the Mini-Me Supercharger are going to be the only two ultimates available for Roar Avoided right now, though.
Yeah, so far Avoided doing good on the second point defense. They've had to expend some ultimates, and Roar once again wisely holding on to theirs. Still have 4 in the bank. And yeah, Avoided is going to be ready to deal with those. Fuki not with the pulse bomb though, uncharacteristically.
70% he'll have it within a matter of seconds if I know anything about Fuki's Tracer. Now, Zytor on the Moira as well, especially with the splash healing, can really get ultimate very, very quickly. This is not a Roar Esports team that is very far away from a full 6-man class. What we're looking at, Mini-Me, now investing that supercharger, but actually that angle is going to mean that only a couple different members get that. Here's a huge EMP, 4 members as a sound barrier invested for the side of Roar Esports. That's going to lead to a couple different players that are absolutely able to go to town here. Eli actually getting mobbed out from Lightbringer. Fuki revenging his team on that. The stick comes out and Lightbringer walks back over it. Did not connect the stick, but the tracer bomb turned into a minefield turned into a mine of sorts for a couple seconds. It's going to be the one that finds value. A lot of back and forth on point. Naru goes for the pull shot Diva bomb. Not going to find anything. Hampei does fall to one of the minefields. Just ended up walking through that one. Teemo instantly avenged out. Mini-Me taking him out for the time being. A lot of members down for Avoided. I think that Roar Esports has won this one.
Yeah, Roar Esports looks like they're just going to complete this one. They already took down Tractor Kit and Mini-Me on the tank line. Lightbringer still around, but will not throw out the ultimate. They know this fight's lost. Just buying some time. With 3.5 minutes, they're going to go into this third point, try and complete that. And this is the one. It's once again one of those things at the end of the map on both Hybrid and Escort. This is the one where if you get held anywhere, it's going to be here.
Yeah, then we talked about important corners last time on Blizzard World. This Roosy 66 last official corner is going to be another huge one where a lot of players will fall. A lot of ultimates available for the side of Avoided. Mini-Me is working his way up to his as Fuki is the only one really that has that one. Admiral will have his sound barrier soon, but that's only a defensive one. Fuki out, doesn't find anything on that one as Roar Esports again finds himself ultimateless. Fuki falling here. The Torb turret getting those instant accurate shots off. A lot of back and forth here. Looks like these two teams are trying to feel each other out through this chokehold.
And this will be relatively the weakest point for the composition of Avoided. There's less sidelines, there's no skybox, so Yezen and Lightbringer, generally speaking, should get a little less value from their picks. There's a lot more places to hide, and then Naru can counter that power a bit easier. But so far, not necessarily has been the case. There goes Yezen, though, finally taken out.
Naru getting up top. Yezen no longer here. The res comes through and is finished. Nicely done. T-Sorcerer finishes out even though Naru was there giving damage and flak continuously. There's the EMP. 4 members of Avoided affected on that one again. I think the Roar Esports is in a fantastic position. Damage orb out for Zytor. Now we're looking at him. Last little bit of damage. Yezen falling on that one. A lot of Avoided members. So what is going on? It seems like Eli gets this EMP, and that's just a sign for every member of Avoided Esports to throw balls to the wall and just go absolutely all the gas out the tank and take picks left and right. It's like they don't need abilities to take their picks. I don't get it.
I mean, you know, you have just primary shots. That's how that works, right? Like, primary fire is definitely a hard thing. But we will see now over here that Roar has some ultimates coming up. Eli switching over to the Genji, thinks that we'll get more value here. Cassandra, harder to hide with her in this enclosed space. Fuki's looking for that pulse bomb. Has it almost ready.
Once again, there Yezen getting up close, and Eli actually coming out with a finishing kill on that one. Well-placed headshot. Yeah, that's Eli. I think it's safe to say he's getting a little bit more value on the Genji than the Sombra already mana class.
Yeah, you just saw in the past a few targets of Avoided being able to get away on like a sliver of HP, and that Genji, both the left and right click as well as the dash, just able to help out with the finishes on those. So Eli just now ready, will always be in position to do those dashes, do those finishers, and now we're gonna see do the rally, the barrage, and Lightbringer's ultimate get some value. Well, at least the headshots do. Wow,
yeah, Lightbringer nicely done. Little Torb snipe on there does anybody's soul good, man. Here comes the Diva self-destruct. Not going to find anything on that. It's just Fuki and Eli going to town on the back lines of Team Avoided. Yezen again with that limited skybox, that lower roof. Not going to have the same ability that they heard earlier. Teemo and the DPS core of the side of Team Roar Esports. Gonna find that one. The res coming through. T-Sorcerer really has not been contested on those so far. As now here's an offensive sound barrier again and try and keep this push alive for Roar. 15 seconds away. 2 players on. No contest come through. Now a player touches for a second. 4 meters away. There's the blade. Eli goes off the first, but isn't able to live through it. Barrage on the end. Yezen does not live through that one either. Does it? Excuse me. Yezen does live on that one. Excuse me. Eli actually now switching on over to the Doom Fist Admiral, Teemo, both down. Roar Esports at a huge deficit now, fighting this one 3-2-6 with no ultimates on board. Avoided has stopped them.
They did it. Avoided once again. Just before the payload gets to the end, they do stop them. So it's the exact same situation we had on Blizzard World, but it's going to be it's going to be very different, I'd say, for this map, because there's no point that needs to be unlocked. Avoided can straight away go into that offensive, more open space momentum mode, and that might play well into their favor, but it might also give Roar an opportunity to stop that momentum sooner and more often than they were able to do on Blizzard World. So we'll see if they make any changes on the defense. I do think the Eli Genji switch definitely was interesting, and it did a lot of work for a little bit, but maybe they'll just go back on the Sombra on the defense just so they can hack some health packs, right? Because not just hacking the enemy team, but also hacking certain health packs that then Teemo is able to retreat to more often and then Ball cannot use for Avoided might be very helpful for them, might be a good thing. And if we see this come out from Lightbringer, I'm going to be excited. Because Lightbringer, the Torb one trick that plays main tank sometimes, going on to Genji, that would be quite something. I don't think it's going to happen. I does switch back to Torbjorn, but I like that they do the debate. See, casters always say, like, oh, we got debated again, but secretly we love it, Tugboat, don't we?
We do. We do love the little player-caster interactions that do come through here, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Exactly, and it looks, and that's the thing, right? You know that the players know what you're doing, so there is that communication interaction thing going on. That's what you love, being part of that community. And now the aggression is stayed away there from Aurora. They're going to spawn camp them here.
Zaitor almost getting concussive blast off by the Yezin up top. Just pulled out that fade really just in the nick of time. Lot of kills coming out from Roar Esports first. Zaitor gonna be the only one. Does end up getting booped off on this one, so not able to avoid the environmental kill on that, environmental death on that. This is now Roar Esports is in a decent little position to start pushing payload.
Oh, you can just see that Fuki gets so much ult charges of that Wrecking Ball of Tractor Kid. It's just insane how much value they're getting there. Fuki will be again up to 60% of the ultimate charge there. Yezin is keeping up with that actually on the far, and also does a lot of damage here.
Yezin's no stranger to large amounts of burst damage. Doesn't have the barrage on board quite yet, but does have the Diva deleted, so that really is the first step to this one if they're looking to stick this one out with a barrage. Not sure if that's needed. Lightsbringer going to be the only one who has gotten deleted. Zaitor did take out E-Sorcerer there at the end, as well as Mini-Me, so Eli cleaning this one up against Yezin as well, and I think this is Roar that is stabilized now at this point.
Now, Ball is still trying to get some value here. They did get a lot of picks late, which means that Void can probably come in here with a numbers advantage. Just go aggro. Here, another health pack being hacked here by Eli. I think it's the one in the tunnel. And Lightbringer already in an aggressive position. The turret gets taken out, but there will be an attack coming out from Avoided a little bit sooner than Roar might want.
Avoided has a lot of ultimates with which to do it as well. Here comes the Torb one first. Teemo falling. A lot of damage coordinated between Tractor Kid and Lightbringer on that one. Naro taking out Lightbringer there towards the end. No turret to boot as well. Eli trying to get all the way around, but first things first, the hack, the health packs coming in first, and again gets signaled out by this one. Avoided doing a great job. I mean, there's only so much that a Sombra can do when you're looking at a team like Avoided that just comes around, just covers so much surface area. You're gonna get detected more times than not, it feels like.
And talking about surface area, we'll see that minefield from Ball coming out pretty soon. We'll be ready with that one. That's going to be hard to contest that objective. They're going to swing in, throw it around that point, and just make sure it's going to get all the value. You see him waiting for it.
Teemo now here. Soundbarrier out, but only connect to two other members. That's Naro and Teemo, the tanks for the side of Roar Esports. Taking advantage from that one. Now it's gone. Hampe falling first. No rally to be had in the next little bit. And Fuki and Zaitor actually combo going on a little bit here. Self-destruct over the top. And that one actually ends pretty quickly, but does not take out any members of Team Avoided. Mini-Me falling afterwards from Fuki and coercive damage from Admiral, excuse me. And I do believe the Team of Avoided is forced to back off a little bit.
That was so strange. I was fully expecting Ball to come out with the minefield and deny them that point entrance. But the card was just free. No mines came out. And I don't really know why. But at least they'll have them for this fight. That's like the thing.
Just stack them all the way up? Is that what it is?
Maybe. Maybe. I don't think they needed to, though. But we'll see this fight come out. They'll have the ultimates. Barrage needs to get value here. Beautiful EMP, though, from Eli.
Mini-Me with perfect timing on that one to stay alive through the stick. But Zytor down, the main healer for the side of Roar Esports, gone, avoided. Gonna have a little bit of work cut out for them as the minefield does take out Naru on the Baby Diva status. This is Yezid just absolutely chasing down this Lucio and doing a fantastic job of wall riding, getting away from that one. And now Avoided has bought themselves a little bit more time.
Yeah, 2 minutes 40 to get it to second, and then another minute and a half if they manage to do that, add it to their clock to get the third. And it's still a tough ask. A lot of time bought there for Roar to deny them that first point. Still gets away. Still dies to Fuki, but wow. This is getting away with that Guardian Angel, right? Like, we talk about Mercy's getting away, being slippery all the time, but that's the true testament there. T-Source has been doing so great on that one today.
If you have a Tracer that can take you down from down low frequently, then you're just gonna have a tough time getting away. Guardian Angel is not as just not as advantageous as it used to be, we'll say. Fuki actually running over a little bit of this Torb ultimate, but able to get away from that one. We've seen Lightbringer, he's able to nail headshots and more on these, so really Fuki is giving him the yardage, the distance that he's really earned so far in this point. Trades coming through, 5-5 on this, self-destruct coming out. Everybody able to get away from that one, though. Lightbringer and Zytor, we're not going to see the end of this team fight, though, as we see 4 on the side. 4 team avoided. Supercharger out, but again, this is hurting my head. I don't understand. There's all these times, there's like the Sombra ultimate. Like on paper, this EMP should equal out to a lot of voided members dying. Mini-Me drops the supercharger. On paper, this should equal out to a lot of damage against Team Esports, but they just hear this come out and they just get super aggressive and take some picks of their own. Love to see it. A lot to be said for momentum flips. Zytor now with the
Sorcerer.
You go down. Not able to get away from this one again, and Zytor doing a fantastic job getting both healing and damage off. Admiral falling there towards the end. He isn't getting those blasts from this ferret yet again. T-Sword doing exactly what he needs to while he is still alive, of course. Campaign involving that rally into this team fight, and now that's over with, but a few different members do have that extra healing. The shield pack's no longer able to provide post-fight armor capabilities, but the rally, of course, does. I think I said that right.
I honestly do think that right now Avoided is going to be sweating a little bit, because yes, they have a few ultimates ready, but so does Roar. You were talking about Lightbringer earlier, that they're able to hit the headshots. I have talked to a fair few Torb mains or Torb 1 tricks in the past, and all they always say is if you really want to get good at Torb, you got to master that gun. You got to be able to hit headshots like Hanzo's do, and if you're able to do that, then Torbjorn is scary, so scary.
I'm with it. He's got more health, he's got armor capabilities, and he doesn't have to pull a bow, right?
Yep.
Oh, Timu falling to his counterpart in this one. Tractor Kid on the ball, finding one from this. Lightbringer getting this one sprayed everywhere, getting damage all over points. Self-destruct coming out, but Naru has not found value in his self-destruct in at least 4 or 5 ultimates. Another minute and a half plus purchased here for the side of Team Avoided. And we are still on a roll. We are still have a game here, man.
And they're able to use that Molten Core in order to buy space around the payload to push it in. Because Roar kind of, I wouldn't say they gave that up, but they were forced away from the objective, which is always a, say a bad thing, but always a tricky thing when that happens. So, yeah, there we go in with another minefield from Teemo.
Eli getting one. There's the barrage from the top. Admiral being the first to fall from that one, but this is fighting decently even. Never mind. 2 down for the side of Roar. Couple gone. Yezin, T-Sorcerer. No pharmacy combination up top for the time being. Lightbringer runs out of ammo on the last shot, and that is heartbreaking. I've been there before, my friend. Tractor Kid now getting back into the thick of things here and chasing down his opposing ball, utilizing that shield ability just at the last second. And again, Tractor Kid not able to chase down that one. The member who gets very, very low, able to get away from this one.
They always say it, never chase the ball because you'll never catch them, and Teemo kind of showing that off there. We'll not be able to use this truck health pack. Of course, it's been hacked again. Eli has been doing a great job of hacking those. You see how much that comes into play, and there's a sound barrier for the defense, but will that be enough against this minefield?
Not for Teemo, not for Admiral, and not for Zytor if he doesn't get away from this. Nicely done with the stick on there, and now we have taken it with time. Nicely done. Avoided gets in there, stays on, and takes out the Norm members who are foolish enough to try and get on top of that one without, first visiting null healing, without visiting null healing core.
Just stacking, like the perfect stacking of first the minefield, then the Molten Core to deny so much space around that card. It gets the roll free to the end of that map, and Avoided takes it away, and Roar, so close to winning that out. There was so little time left, and that last play with that mindful and that Molten Core actually got the play of the game as well. It's just been such a roller coaster this series, and Avoided does come out on top again. But man, did Roar make it close. They're a team to watch because they were so ready for that.
Yeah, if Roar had pushed that all the way in the end, then we might still be watching this match, given that Avoided only had like 13 seconds left, right? I think they had another like 8 meters or so to go after that. And I do think that Roar would have been able to get there and contest, if they had taken it. But that's just a different story. You gotta, it's about steps in Overwatch, right? You gotta take the point and move on to defense and see how these things go afterwards. A very hard fought match. Yes, 2-0 on the Ilios, but I know that the first one was 99-99. The second one did have progress for the losing team that was Avoided, but still, fantastic stuff. Do believe we have a main tank player lined up for interview.
Oh yeah, we do. Mini-Me is going to be ready in the chat very soon, so we'll get that going. But before we do, once again reminding everybody that if you've seen some great plays, if you think you can make some great content based off on this production, feel free to do so. We've got a jersey with the LA Gladiators to give away, as well as 2 homestand sprays. Like spray kits, spray codes. So if you can make anything like a picture, a video, some form of content in order to get that ball rolling, to get potentially like a jersey or a spray code, feel free to put that on Twitter. Use the hashtag GLAD4T2, so that's GLAD as in gladiators, 4 as in, 4, F-O-R, just the word, and T2, the letter T, the number 2, and you'll be able to be eligible for that. We'll be drawing the winners from that one, or selecting the winners from that one on Friday after the last game has been broadcasted. So we will now go to the interview with Mini-Me. We'll just drag him into the chat and welcome Mini-Me to this interview. Thank you for doing this for us, and of course, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, a hard-fought one if there ever was one, right?
Yeah, it was honestly the easiest match of my life. Don't know what to say.
Oh, wow, okay.
Wow.
Nah, jokes aside, it was my heart is still beating. It's insane.
We can imagine. Yeah. So, like, at that point, because of course they took Ilios away from you guys, were you at all getting worried, like, oh, we might not even be able to win this series? Like, what happened in there? Because obviously you swap out Toddy for you, and then you switch Lightbringer back to DPS, which is sort of a move you can kind of expect to be happening. But like, what was going on in the comms after that, where you're like, oh, we actually lost the map? What's this?
So to start off, like, we had some major internet issues today. So we had some players on insanely high ping, and we were kind of worried about the match. And when we went on Ilios, it was like the moment where we were like, okay, we gotta give our 100%, if not even 200%, and go full try out on them. And yeah, we just swapped to what we know we want to play on this map. Like, we planned on playing this, so we just ran it. We knew they were gonna run dive, like hard dive every single map. So we just had Hamper on the brig and just shield him every time. He just shield dances and tries to stay alive, and if he stays alive, we win the team fight pretty much.
Fair enough. You did see a lot of focus going on a Hempe there from Fuki especially. Yeah, I mean, of course they recognize that as well on the other side. Like you said, you were expecting dive. Were you expecting specifically like the Sombra dive as well, or did you think they were maybe gonna go with like a Genji or something?
We didn't really expect dive like before the match. We don't really know anything about most teams. We just watched the matches that I played before that day, and we saw them run like the normal boring meta comp. We assumed they would run it, but like on Ilios, they came out with the hard dive. So we knew, okay, they're going to keep on running this dive. Like, they talked probably to the coaches, and we're like, okay, you guys got to play this.
Otherwise you won't win.
Yeah, we know how to adapt in most situations. We know how to play against most comps. And it worked out. It was probably the closest match of my life. And yeah, it ended up working out for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you've been in quite a few matches with in your days. Of course, you were one of those original Clockwork Vendetta players. Now you're on Avoided. Has that been a very similar environment for you to play in, with like the mentality of the team?
I feel like it's kind of similar, but on the other hand, it's completely different. Like, the team playstyle-wise is kind of similar because we all play our own thing, and we just know what we're good at, and we know what to do in most situations. But on the other hand, like, the team structure is completely new. Like, we have NNA part of the team. We have EU. We have like a giant community around our Discord and like just people having a good time talking with each other. And that wasn't really the case with CV back then. So it's
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's just a great environment. Just we are sitting in Discord together and talking about like spots where Lightbringer can sit on Monkey like at 3 AM yesterday or today, I guess. And just talk about all kinds of strats we want to try out.
I was just gonna say, high-level players, really playing to the best of their abilities on these individual heroes. Meta be damned, right? That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we just don't want to play meta. Like, I've watched a couple of other games. It's just the most boring thing ever. Just seeing double shield versus double shield, and you just throw the dynamite, use the lamp. It's just so boring to watch.
Can't disagree.
Yeah. It all has their charm, but I do definitely understand how people have more of a liking for these diverse or more crazy strategies that we see come out sometimes. So yeah, you're saying the team environment is very different. You have like a whole like community behind you that you're all playing in, talking to each other about. Of course, you've played with Engineer before, on the Torbjorn. Is Lightbringer a very different Tor player? Or is that just the same kind of craziness?
They're extremely different. Like I feel like Light is just on the flank 24/7 pretty much. He just knows how far he can go and he knows how to bait people with his abilities. And Engineer was, I think, a bit more straightforward. He just played with the team and fragged out and had amazing ults back then.
Fair enough. I mean, it's good to know that Torb can be played in different ways as well, and that you've experienced both now. Because that of course plays into the whole thing of like we play our heroes to the best of their capacity, and then knowing how far you can go with a hero, knowing how flexible a hero is in different areas. That's always good to hear. Do you think we'll ever see Lightbringer actually play the Genji? Because he teased it in Spawn, and of course that wasn't your bait. But
I'm pretty sure
we heard that you're learned.
I'm pretty sure he's kind of garbage on the Genji. I don't know. I've never seen him play Genji before. Like he's.
I mean, hey,
he's your teammate,
we
teammate.
We heard yesterday that you were going to try and like maybe learn some new heroes. I was like hopeful, maybe we'll Lightbringer Genji one day, but. Yeah.
There's a ton of people that think he's just a top-on trick, but like before he used to play Monkey on the team, he used to play like Baptiste on the team, like he played a couple of different heroes and he knows all of them pretty well. So people just didn't expect the Monkey in the first match, I guess.
No, I'm with it. I can see that. So like looking at your next games, do you think this was the hardest team in the group to beat?
I think the hardest team is gonna be Sheer Cold, if I'm gonna be honest. We'll see like how they can adapt against us. If they're gonna come out with the hard death as well, we'll see. But
I mean, after this game, watching this, they might feel like that would be the option to go, right? But then maybe they don't execute as well.
We know how to play against it now, so we should be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're also gonna watch the VOD back and do the same thing, right? Yeah.
Before the entire tournament, I thought that Ultimates are gonna be the strongest team because like they have huge names on there, and also my former teammate Magmata. But the performances has been kind of weird right now. I don't know if they're like struggling with the meta or whatever, but I think they've lost both matches so far, which is kind of sad to watch. Yeah, I think they lost today as well. But yeah, maybe they can come back. Who knows? It's like I really love this format of the trials now. Like last season they had, I think, this tournament like this elimination bracket. Which I really don't like because you rely on seeding and now you actually have to play against every single team, which is amazing.
Yeah. And of course, top two of the group go through the contenders then. And of course, since everything is now monthly, you only have to wait a few more weeks before you get to go trials again. So in general, I hear you say you like the new format a lot, which is always good to see that the format is evolving to something that players actually like. Do you think the first two format is also nice, or would you like to have a bit longer games?
I was extremely surprised by it. Like, I just heard about it, I think, 4 days ago. I realized that it's first to two, which is kind of weird. I don't know who decided that, but I guess it worked out fast so far. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting, like the next few matches.
Yeah, 100%. I'm looking forward to your next games as well. Is there anything in particular that you guys have as like maybe like a team ritual, something you do before the game where you're like, oh, we'll all listen to the same song, where someone comes up with a stupid joke or something?
usually we just hang out in Discord and talk about different stuff we want to play, and we make fun of Hampus' mother.
Okay. Okay, so I guess that's the ritual, you know. There's
Rally
no joke
behind
about
it,
how
common
It's like our ritual, I guess. No, like
Okay.
we just hang out in Discord and have fun there and just talk with each other. That's all pretty much.
Cool. Yeah, and you're still. I'm guessing you still have fun with the game, obviously, because we've seen a lot of teams, a lot of players really get burnt out during the last months with the hero bans. Now that they're gone, you especially will also like. Was that like a hard period to get through for you guys? When like sometimes certain heroes would get banned that you played a lot, or do you feel like the bans kind of dodged you guys as a team quite well?
We had like a pretty huge roster back then when the bans were a thing in OD, so we never really struggled with it. We just subbed a new player in that we knew, okay, he's gonna do well. Like for example, when Ball got banned, we just got KSA in, for example, for a few scrims.
Yeah.
KSA and the Hog, and I think it was Trust Me on Hog in a match as well. So that so we just had like a plan for every single ban pretty much. That wasn't really an issue.
Good to see. Yeah, and
But
of course you don't have to worry
happy-
about bans anymore. So
Yeah, I'm happy that bans are gone.
Fair enough.
I think we all are.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they had some nice ring to it, but it was just a weird system. Anyways, we're gonna let you go in a little bit, but before that, we're gonna give you the opportunity to shout out, plug, and do whatever you really want. Can people find more of you, of your team? How does that really work? Is there anyone you want to particularly thank or not thank?
A shout out to Jay, our manager. She's amazing. She does everything for us pretty much, like warm-up scrims and in general just scrims, and gets the team together. And also Yeeson, who is a monster on Pharah. Like he might actually be the best Pharah in the world. It's actually insane.
Definitely.
Yeah, and in general just our Discord, everyone who supports us, and all our fans out there.
It's Avoided GG, right, on Twitter, where they can find more about you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I can attest to Jada being a good manager. I mean, I live in the same city, so you know we hang out sometimes. But yeah,
okay, cool.
It's really nice that you guys have such a good bond with your manager as well. It's always good to see that behind the scenes the staff is doing their work as well. And yeah, I mean, thank you for the interview. Congratulations on the win again, and also good luck in prepping for the next matches, especially the ones against Sheer Cold, apparently.
Yep. It's gonna be a hard match.
Gonna be a hard one. Well, thank you very much again, and yeah, we'll see you next time maybe.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. That was Mini-Me of Team Avoided coming through for the post-game W interview. 2-1, taking down over Roar Esports. Fantastic stuff from them.
Always a pleasure, really, talking to Avoided. Like I said, I have a little bit of a personal relationship with their manager. Just you know, we talk at times. But it's always good to hear from the players themselves, and not just make sure that she's actually telling the truth sometimes. But yeah, no, like you know, you do keep hearing it, right? They have a nice community, a lot of people that are just invested in it. The brand is working out well. It's a new style of playing Overwatch, a new way of bringing the game, bringing passion back into the game. And it keeps showing in their gameplay as well. Like, you know, if they could keep on bringing new players in and different players, rotating them in and out, then they might be the scariest team in the world. And they're sort of bringing in that philosophy that at some point some Overwatch League teams started to do, where you have this one role or one hero that is very niche, but if you have a specialist on it and it becomes meta, you're just going to destroy. Like what Philadelphia is saying they're doing with Chips on Doomfist, right? Yeah. So, like, that I really like that they might be so dangerous that they can do that for literally every single hero. But of course, roster formats are a thing. Blizzard is going to probably constantly say you can only have this many players on your team, so you cannot actually make a specialist on 32, because that would be amazing, right? Where you just have 32 players on a roster. But I feel like we've been talking a lot about in the interview. We're talking a lot about the game right now. And I feel like we need to let you guys go. So we're going to call a little bit of an end to it, Tugboat. But your last thoughts?
I don't have enough time to wrap my head around what you just said about 32 specialists. That would be very, very interesting. Maybe they'll save that content for the people a little bit later. Can't give me everything all at once, right? This has been the Day 2 Overwatch Monkey Bubble Contenders Trials here for EU. I'm FBI Tugboat. You can find me over there on Twitter at FBI_Tugboat if you enjoyed the cast, and I'd appreciate the follow. Man of Class, if I remember right, it's MOCOW, right?
It's just Man of Class W. It's underneath the screen. Everyone can see it. You know,
Gotcha.
It's all fine. And don't forget to make some creative content. We're really looking forward to your submissions for the Gladiators giveaway, both a jersey and 2 HomeSense spray codes. Just make something, meme, image, video, anything, and use the hashtag GLAD4T2. We'll see you on Friday to announce the winners of that. We'll probably be if you follow the hashtag, you'll probably see some fun content come around as well. So we'll see you on that one. And have a good night for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same channels, for more EU trials.